και αρώμασιν εν μνήματι κενό, κηδεύσας απέθετο, αλλά τρίμερος ανέστης Κύριε, παρέχον στον κόσμο το μέγα έλεος. Τες μυροφόρης γυναίξη παρά το μνήμα επιστάς, ο άγγελος εγώ, τα μοίρα της θνήτης υπάρχει αρμόδια, Χριστός δε διαφθοράς εδείχθη αλότριος, αλλά κραυγάσατε ανέστη ο Κύριος, παρέχον το κόσμο το μέγα έλεος. Ότε κατήλθες προς τον θάνατον, η ζωή αθάνατος, τότε τον άδεινε νεκροσάς, την αστραπή της θεότητος, ότε δε και τους τεθνεώτας εκ των καταφθονίων ανέστησας, πάσε δυνάμεις των επουρανίων εκραυγαζών, ζωοδότα Χριστέ ο Θεός ημών δόξα σοι. Ευσχήμων Ιωσήφ από του ξύλου καθελών, το άχραντον σου σώμα, συντώνει καθαρά ηλίσας και αρώμασιν εν μνήματι κενό, κηδεύσας απέθετο, αλλά τρίμερος ανέστης Κύριε, παρέχον το κόσμο το μέγα έλεος. Τες μυροφόρης γυναίξη παρά το μνήμα επιστάς, ο άγγελος εγώ, τα μοίρα της θνήτης υπάρχει αρμόδια, Χριστός δε διαφθοράς εδείχθη αλότριος, αλλά κραυγάσατε ανέστη ο Κύριος, παρέχον το κόσμο το μέγα έλεος. Ότε κατήλθες προς τον θάνατον, η ζωή αθάνατος, τότε τον άδεινε νεκροσάς, την αστραπή της θεότητος, ότε δε και τους τεθνεώτας εκ των καταφθονίων ανέστησας, ανέστησας, πάσε δυνάμεις των επουρανίων εκραυγαζών, ζωδότα Χριστέ ο Θεός ημών δόξα Σοι. Ευσχήμων Ιωσήφ από του ξύλου καθελών, το άχραντον σου σώμα, συντώνει καθαρά ηλίστας και αρώμασιν, εν μνήματι κενό, κηδεύσας απέθετο, αλλά τριήμερος ανέστης Κύριε, παρέχον το κόσμο το μέγα έλεος. Τες μυροφόρης γυναίξη παρά το μνήμα επιστάς, ο άγγελος εγώ, τα μοίρα της θνήτης υπάρχει αρμόδια, Χριστός δε διαφθοράς εδείχθη αλότριος, αλλά κραυγάσατε ανέστη ο Κύριος, παρέχον το κόσμο το μέγα έλεος. Ότε κατήλθες προς τον θάνατον, η ζωή αθάνατος, τότε τον άδεινε νεκροσας, την αστραπή της θεότητος, ότε δε και τους τεθνεώτας εκ των καταφθονίων ανέστησας, πάσε δυνάμεις των επουρανίων εκραυγαζών, ζωδότα Χριστέ ο Θεός ημών δόξα Σοι. Ευσχήμων Ιωσήφ από του ξύλου καθελών, το άχραντον σου σώμα, συντώνει καθαρά ηλίστας και αρώμασιν, εν μνήματι κενό, κηδεύσας απέθετο, αλλά τριήμερος ανέστης Κύριε, παρέχον το κόσμο το μέγα έλεος. Τες μυροφόρης γυναίξη παρά το μνήμα επιστάς, ο άγγελος εγώ, τα μοίρα της θνήτης υπάρχει αρμόδια, Χριστός δε διαφθοράς εδείχθη αλότριος.
Guys, let me first of all apologize. Okay? Yes, I was late. My apologies. I know I'm supposed to be on time to stream, but I'm just... Guys, you can't blame me, man. Like, I'm a bro. At the end of the day, yeah, the day has to end. Like, my apologies for being late to stream, okay? I know I was supposed to go live at 7. We had to go to 7:45, and then I had to change it to 8. Okay? My apologies. All right? So, please forgive me for being late, okay? My apologies. Super chats, I believe, are on, so do not worry. Now, we actually have some news today, okay? So, on the plus side, okay, today is actually my name day. Okay, yes, I know. Today is my name day. Okay, today is my name day. And I feel very, very special, very, very righteous. Today is my name day. And I just want to say thank you to every single person that wished me very, very nice messages. I want to say thank you to every single person that showed me so much love. Okay? Thank you very, 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 very much to every single person. Yes, today is the name day of Saint Jerome of Stridon, Stridon, who is my patron. So, for the people them in the background, someone said Nazisis, thank you. Essis. And so, to commemorate today, I have Super Malt, okay? I have an entire can of Super Malt. This is not promo. This is just me. This is just Nigeria. I have an entire can of Super Malt that shall be used. And that is how we're going to run the stream today, okay? I wanna catch you guys up, okay? Are my glasses dirty? Yes, because I need to get my microfibers. I'm gonna catch you guys up on basically what happened this week. I went out this week. I had to basically enjoy myself. I had to also get some texts for religious reasons. And we went out and basically got some stuff. You know, up in the stocks, making sure that we're always ticking over. We always have everything. We're always, well equipped apostolically, yeah? So your boy went through to get those kinds of things. So I really do appreciate it. We have our first super chat of the day. For Itachi, this is Fitna. She's misguiding the Ummah to believe female da'wah is permissible. The physical hijab is there, but the sentimental one is not there because she is speaking. Okay, a couple of things, yeah? When it comes to the hijab and things like this, yeah? I don't know. Like, that's their mess, bro. Like, I don't know why Itachi is speaking. I don't know why she's vocal, like... How she slipped through the cracks to end up on the internet is beyond me, okay? Like, how she slipped through the internet, how she slipped through the cracks to appear on the internet is beyond me. I don't even know how she even got there. Someone said, Wagwan Siggy Poo. Don't ever, in your male life, ever call me Siggy Poo, okay? My name is Jerome. Stick with it. Let's just do a quick mic check. Mic check. Can everyone in chat hear me? Bro, turn into Fearless Truth with a 66% volume. Let me just make sure that I have everything up. I don't like putting the volume way too up because if I put it up way too much, then it gets dark. It sounds good, bro. I can only, by the way, when it comes to the feature chat, I can't see every single chat. I only see the chats that are super chats. So if you want to send me, money, then yes, then I'll see your chat. Other than that, then I'm not seeing your chat, bro. I do not have my microfibers with me, so we're going to have to work with dirty glasses today. I'm sorry. I'm sure the microfiber case will probably pop up around somewhere. It's just, rummaging through things is just a bit unprofessional. Isn't this the guy that cooked Cora? Yes. Top grift. Brother, we are the grifters, okay? Anyways, without further ado, we want to get straight into it. We want to get straight into the teat of the discussion, okay? Straight into the teeth of the discussion. We've got 63 people on TikTok. I don't even know how many people we have on YouTube. Probably like 12. 12 on YouTube? 100 people on YouTube. Okay. YouTube's getting up there, man. Ever since the Cora stuff happened, bro, like, people have just been coming into the chat. So, love and guidance to everyone that's coming through. All right. So I just got a message. Get a message again. I'm not saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You're just gonna snob our chats unless we pay. Yes. All right. Let's continue. Okay. So this is the live stream. As you can see, naked video has not been touched. One Christian versus four Muslims. Islam or Christianity. They get barbecued like pulled pork. That's crazy.
Christians used to
Do I only
allow
debate theology? If we need to debate sociological issues, then maybe.
for the unalivement of heretics. They used to allow for the unalivement of Jews, as I already gave you the references for. You're not engaging with that.
We're not people for abandoning their religion because that's what Islam teaches.
Your Christian saints like Augustine and stuff make arguments that if the Torah is preserved, then it's preserved in all recessions, including the Septuagint.
Why?
Sure. I love Augustine. Augustine's the GOAT. Now, I don't know what specific passage he's quoting from Augustine, but yeah. The early church's position was that the Septuagint was the main confessional Old Testament text or rendition of the Old Testament that the Christian community can and should use. So there is no problems here. I am a Septuagint boy till I die, okay? Stand on that Greek. However, especially if you want to make Old Testament translations, we use the Hebrew. We just have to because the Hebrew text is, again, out of respect to, the holy languages, it is one of those holy languages that is so important. So we use them.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, we can remember Augustine today. What? Fire in the chat. Everyone spam Augustine in the chat. What? Spam hippo in the chat. Everyone spam hippo in the chat. Spam hippo in the chat. What? Spam hippo in the chat. What? Huh? Spam hippo in the chat. That's what I want to see. Spam hippo. That's all I want to see. We was Africans. Spam hippo in the chat. That's all I want to see. That's all I want to see. Just hippo. Spam hippo in the chat. Someone said, let me ask a question real quick. Hold on. Chat to me. Call me after. Call me after stream. All right.
Why were the Jews flourishing? Why were the Jews flourishing in Spain and persecuting the rest of Christian Europe?
I'm a Christian. What Muhammad...
I want to be very, very clear because there might be some viewers that are under the age of 18. Guys, this is not alcohol. This is Supermalt. Supermalt is specifically a non-alcoholic drink, okay? This is a non-alcoholic substance. I do not drink alcohol on stream. The only wine that I will take is the Blessed Sacrament and 3 shots of tequila. Let's continue.
did was evil. He's not a good moral example. He should be thrown out because he's actually causing all sorts of harm.
about Yahweh?
We see this happening in Iraq.
You're appealing to the emotions.
So you think
Why is gifting suspended? Is it suspended on TikTok? Okay. I don't know why gifting is suspended on TikTok. But if you do want to support me, head over to patreon.com/SIIIG1. Okay? Head over to patreon.com/SIIIG1. We do not make money from the TikToks. For whatever reason, TikTok has decided, the gods of TikTok have decided that anything that I do on this godforsaken app just won't work. You can go to streamlabs.com/sig10/tip if you want to do that as well. If you said the glass bottle is OG, I have the glass bottle. Do not worry. Okay?
it's okay to with a 9-year-old? I just want to be clear.
Jerome Young Bob got assaulted. Pff, what? Okay, we'll cover all the drama on like Wednesday.
Is Christianity better for society than Islam?
I always
Yeah, this is his wheelhouse. Okay. As Inspired Philosophy is in his this is his bag. This is his whole bag.
say yes. And when we assert that, we have to, I'm hoping today we can touch on several topics. Because there are several things to look at when we're looking at these different
Facts.
religions and knowing which is going to produce better results. And that's the
Facts.
key here, which is going to produce better results.
Facts.
So, whole well-rounded thing here. So we're not talking about which we think is more moral. We're not talking about which we think is true. We're talking about which religion is going to produce better societies. And in terms of several metrics, Christianity just outperforms Islam on many, many, many important things.
Yeah.
So I will start with 3. I'm hoping to get to more because there's a bunch of things. So I would say, first of all, Islam allows and promotes child marriage. That is extremely bad for society. that leads to
Yeah, allows and promotes are two different claims, though. So to allow the marriage of biological children, yes. Biological children are usually allowed to be married. Now, this is a very controversial claim because usually Muslims will try to distinguish between chronological maturity and biological maturity. Now, what is the difference between the two? Okay. Within the realm of argument, within Christian contexts, chronological maturity is also important. Now, what do I mean by chronological maturity? Literally, maturity according to time. Okay? So, right now, if you asked Jerome in 10 years or 20 years, let's say, for example, I don't want to bait out my age. If you ask someone, proverbial Jerome, if you ask Jerome, how old are you, Jerome? I would say 18. Okay? And that would be because I have lived 18 years on the planet. So usually when people ask, how old are you? You are asking them for their chronological age. Chronology, time, chronological, okay? So chronological age is something that we care about as Christians, okay? And that's important for when we consider someone's adulthood. That's actually important. But there is also biological age. So biological age refers to how fast your body has developed. How fast your homeostatic properties have developed from birth till now. Someone could technically be chronologically 18, but actually be biologically 27. Right? It's possible. For example, Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo right now, he's around 41, 42 years old. But biologically, he's like 24, 25. So chronologically, he's X number of age, but biologically it's different. So it's not always one-to-one. Let's read some of these super chats. Why support Grift if he is a Grift or Newcastle fan? Listen, I'm a Man United fan. Full chest. I'm a Man United fan. Bobby Dons, sending blessings for cooking Kura. Ah, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, let's continue. But in Islam, what we care about specifically is whether or not the person is also mentally an adult as well. To measure mental adulthood is very, very spliffy because many, many different people think that mental maturity can be boiled down to, I remember a bunch of facts. If you have a child genius that remembers a bunch of stuff and can even do taxes, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're an adult. There are specific mental processes that are needed in order for you to be considered an adult. Like specific ways of reasoning in the world as an adult. You can find this in scripture. You can also find this in sociological texts. But that's the idea.
harm done to girls, harm to their offspring, which leads to inferior societies. Islam also allows cousin marriage. Christianity, because of our ecclesiology, has gotten rid of cousin marriage. So that means that we have produced better societies because more cousin marriage leads to lower IQ, more birth defects, and actually less economic prosperity. And the third thing I'll bring up is actually the practice of polygyny. Islam does allow polygyny, but polygyny actually deteriorates society. If you don't know, polygyny is, specifically, it's a form of polygamy where it's one man and multiple women. So polygamy can be one woman, several men, but polygyny is one man, several women. So those three things are three ways in which that Christianity has done away with through trial and error, through understanding of the natural world, through understanding of how we operate as a society, which has produced far better results. So dive in.
Who wants to begin? Okay, yeah. So when it comes to the three,
so the one guy here, he doesn't have an account. These three have been on before.
I think obviously this needs some time to dissect. It's very general. There's a lot of data that we need to process. Mm-hmm. But to begin, what we're trying to compare is obviously what we're establishing is that we have Islam, we have Christianity. If implemented in society, which one yields the better results, right? In terms of moral values that we can both agree upon, right? Now,
I would say that incest is pretty bad. I don't know about you. I think incest is pretty up there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to explain it to you, man. I just feel like incest should just be something that we should all agree on. That's like, nah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain it to you, man. Like, genuinely, I don't know, man. Just, I hear incest in it. I just think, nah, man. Hey, okay. Lord, give me strength.
comes to the first one, you said, not only did you say that when we have Muslims that would practice child marriage, you specifically said that Islam allows it. So I want to quickly focus on that. Where did you get that understanding from that Islam allows child marriage, given the fact that the Messenger, peace and blessing upon him, explicitly says in an authentic narration, لا ضرر ولا ضرار, no harm, no reciprocating harm. So the Messenger already explicates.
But reciprocating harm, even if you took that as a principle, wouldn't necessarily prohibit every single child marriage. Let's say, for example, Muhammad's impotent, right? And he has a micro penis. I don't know what to expect, okay? So he has a micro wee-wee. He wouldn't hurt the child, bro. So there's no prohibiting factor there in doing it. He could be really, really nice and soft with her. Pause. I don't know why I'm describing like this, bro. But yeah, simply just saying, oh my gosh, we don't want to hurt her, doesn't prohibit every single instance of child marriage, unless you believe that every single instance of child marriage would result in someone getting hurt. Which, again, you should agree with, okay? But then you would have to argue that Aisha specifically wasn't chronologically a child, and she wasn't biologically a child either. Don't know how you're going to prove that biologically she was completely a woman. There's no way that you'd be able to prove that. So I don't know how you're going to be able to actually demonstrate that. But hey, you know what I'm saying? We're going to see. We're going to see. All right, continue.
Says that when it comes to...
A man said incest is up there and being pretty bad. This is going to be a funny stream, man. No.
Any relationship, if there is harm involved, is going to be impermissible. So how do you get around that? Now, if you're going to argue that a more fundamentalist approach of the Quran and the Sunnah would allow for this, rather than a traditional approach, that's a different argument. But you specifically said...
Okay, but the problem is, let's just like put all our terms out there in terms of child marriage, okay? Because it's probably the main one that they're going to do. They've already 3 minutes in, no holds barred. I just want to say, okay, already 3 minutes in, I want to ask you, do you think that marrying chronological children is okay? Okay, is marrying chronological children is okay? That's what I want to know. Firm Foundation with the $2, with the $2 CAD. Hearing this online versus seeing people agree in real life is, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, when it's online, it's different. But when you see it in real life, it's dark.
Islam allows for it. So what would be the evidence for that?
So yeah, great. So yeah, let's start with that. So with regarding the harm principle to start, that's obviously interpreted differently. Because, for example, Sahih al-Bukhari allows for the killing of apostates, but that's going to harm them, but you're not going to throw that out. You're going to allow self-defense wars in Islam, but that's going to cause harm to invaders. So that's obviously going to be...
Harm isn't always harm, bro. that's basically the whole thing. Hey, harm isn't always harm. Sometimes, man, the harm can harm, man.
Interpreted differently. The two main ways we know that
Guys, there's also 158 people on YouTube and there's only 11 likes. Get the likes up.
Islam allows and promotes child marriage is with the Quran says that Muhammad is the pattern of conduct, but he married Aisha when she was 6 and consummated the marriage when she was 9.
So the weird thing about this argument is, okay, when typically the way that I hear Muslims defy Sunnah essentially is the actions and teachings of the Prophet. So anything that Muhammad did is Sunnah because he was allowed to do it by Allah. Now, just because something is sunnah doesn't necessarily mean that it's permissible. For example, it was sunnah, I guess, like in this really vague sense, it was sunnah for him to marry 13 wives, but it's only permissible for a Muslim to have 4. Now, maybe they could go and shift to that kind of argumentation, where they say that it was only okay for Muhammad to marry a child, right? They could say that, and that would be, I guess, an easier argument to save face, because then they could say, actually, you know, pedophilia is banned for us, but it wasn't banned for the moral standard. I don't know how they would make it, but they'll find a way. That said, though, when it comes to this, people have to be very careful with how they're making the argument. It's not just about the fact that people in history have done child marriages. Nobody cares about the fact that people in history do it, because nobody believes that those people should be copied. Nobody believes that those people were better than us. Like, if I see a pedophile king in the 1800s, I would argue that I'm morally better off than that person. Okay? My parish subdeacon has passed, please pray for him, of course. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to this, though, Muhammad is the pinnacle of moral excellence and moral perfection. He is the pinnacle of moral progress, as in all moral progress peaked with him. And if all moral progress peaked with him, then he is that particular standard of morality. And so if we wanted to see the quintessential moral man, we look to him. And if you're telling me that the archetypal, the prototypical human being, a moral actor, a moral agent on this earth that isn't God, is that guy, and he married a kid, serious alarm bells. Now, the reason why it's serious alarm bells is because it seems to be the case that natural law dictates that marrying children is wrong, that having carnal relations with a child is wrong, that pedophilia is wrong. And because we believe that as a fact, then he can't contradict that moral fact. Contradicting the moral fact would mean that he's less than perfect. And if he's less than perfect, then obviously the Islamic claim that he is morally the best is wrong, because he's not. All right.
As a child, there's no biological way that could not be a child. Therefore, it allows child marriage. And then, of course, Surah 65:4, which does allow girls.
Beautiful. Do you guys want to jump in? Or?
Okay. I should probably do a counter for beautiful, because it happens way too many times, okay? Because I've seen clips of this guy before. Let me go. Here's what we'll do. I'm gonna move this over here. And we'll do counter tally. Oh, sweet. Guys, we got it. Hold on. Look at this. We got the counter. No, not that. We got the counter, guys. We got the counter. Hold on. W Christian K. Bro, we learn from all our mistakes, mate. We take our lessons into learning every day. Let me edit transform. What do I do? Oh, not position. Crop. And I'm gonna make this as like a small thing in my, I don't know, my windows. Steph, the rich kid, says that his sub decompassed. I'm so sorry to hear that your sub decompassed, man. I really am sorry. Let's go 240. Oh! Yeah, that's going to be annoying. And if I go 300. Okay, 400. Okay, 402. Sorry, I should have done this before. I really should have done this before, but you guys get to see me edit in real time. 250? Yeah, that's fine. And then right is like, I don't know what, 300? Oh, 300. Let's go 50, 60, 70. 400. Let's go 500. Okay, yeah, 500 is probably closer to the truth. Religion is cooked. Look, as much as people can say the religion is cooked, yeah, these people will never change. Okay, like these people, bro, stuck in their ways, fixed. They will never change. You could literally show them, like, Jesus Christ could come to them and be like, hey, I can't lie, I think you man are best. They don't care. They will be like, no, Jesus, see, you got it wrong. Like they do not care. They do not care. So anyhow anyone tells me, oh my gosh, yeah, like, please support the cause of Islam. I was like, okay. Whatever you want to say, man. Whatever you want to say. I have no hate for these people. You know what I mean? I have no hate for them. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna just play it in the background.
You've been shaking your head. What did you want to say?
Well, I mean, I have many things to say. First of all, Islam does not in any way, shape, fashion, or form support any idea of pedophilia or underage marriage. Islam does not support anything like that at all. The Quran gives an age of marriage.
No, it doesn't.
It is very clear. It gives something called an age of marriage.
No, it doesn't.
And
what's the number?
That age of marriage is when you reach puberty, in essence.
What?
Puberty. So puberty.
No, that's not an age though. It's not an age. When people say age, they mean a number. Like, we all know what you mean when you say age, by the way, and it's not an age. Okay, you didn't give an age, you didn't give a number. So for you to say, oh yeah, like I gave it, yeah, like it's the age of marriage, and you don't give a number, that's dishonest. Okay, so please do not be going around making dishonest claims like, oh yes, we as the Muslim community, we give an age of marriage. No, you don't. That's okay. Like, you don't have to. Like, no one asked you to. Apart from pretty much every other person in the conversation who wants to be good faith and charitable and not weird. But you are the one that lied. Please don't lie. It's not cool. It's not funny.
Is when you're mature. Has a 9-year-old ever completed puberty?
Sure.
Really? According to what?
A 9-year-old has completed puberty. No. There are no biological cases in which someone has completed puberty. Biologically. There are people that will have certain sex organs, like Lena Medina, who is the youngest ever person to ever get pregnant. But even then, in terms of the historical medical records that we have of her at the time, she still had things that needed to grow and needed to improve. And we thought it was a tumor. Some sex organs were developed, but her structurally was not. There were still things yet to be developed. There were still things yet for her to improve, still things yet for her to actually grow into. And not to mention psychologically as well, which is also part of biology as well, by the way. Like psychology and biology has a particular intersection. So yeah, she was just not developed. There was no person I can think of. David Robertson mentions 2 people. There's a child that claims to be at the age of 10, and by the age of 10, she specifically was the person was claimed to be biologically 18. It's the only case I can think of, and even then, it required more development. Even then.
Sure. I mean, this is life. These are things that happen.
Yeah, when you look at, for example, the classical texts that he quoted, Bukhari himself has a narration where Aisha radiallahu anha refers to herself as a woman, right? So if you wanna like internally critique our sources regarding what
was she a woman biologically, chronologically? How? Like, what definition of woman? Now, of course, she's gonna say Islamically, but even by your own Islamic standards, there are specific properties you look for. Obviously, everyone agrees chronologically, Aisha was not a woman, okay? We typically cut off womanhood at 18. But in Islam, in Christian societies, it's usually 21. And that's because it's fighting age. We usually cap off adulthood with fighting age, which is 21. So for her, I want to know when magically, mysteriously, this person is being considered an adult. In what regard is this person being considered an adult?
As regarding when the marriage happens.
You say internal or external?
Internal.
I'm not. This is external critique. This is definitely external critique.
How do you come to conclude that the marriage was
Okay. Every single time anyone says beautiful, perfect, wonderful, fantastic, I'm putting it down. Because it's just phatic language. It's just phatic. There's no actual listening there. There's no actual listening there.
6 and 9.
Because that's what your sources teach.
Beautiful.
But then you're also saying she's not a child, and I'm saying that's just incompatible with reality.
Okay. Yeah.
There is no such thing as a 9-year-old woman. The hips on a girl do not develop till the ages of 15 or 17. Puberty is not complete. There is no possible
Sig just pulled up, what is a woman? Hey, peak fiction.
world where it's biologically the case a 9-year-old could be anything but a child.
Okay. Would you say that in order to be able to conceive and bear children, etc., you would have to have gone through some of the stages of puberty?
You would have to go.
You have to go through some of the stages of puberty, yes, but you would not need to have completed puberty. All you would need really is to be able to start a period. All you in order for you to technically have a zygote inside you as a woman, you just need to have a period. That's it. Okay, you just need to have a period. That's it. Why? Because all you need is for your egg to travel to your uterus. You don't need to be an adult in this way. Doesn't make you biologically an adult just because you start your period, right? Because at the age of 8. Women start periods, generally speaking. But it doesn't mean that they will be able to handle it. And one of the ways that we can know, actually, that a person who is chronologically still young isn't actually biologically old enough is if they're not able to naturally give birth to a child by themselves, but they need C-section. Right? So even though people like Lena Medina, for example, she actually gave birth to a child, she needed C-section because she still was biologically a child. And we know that because she had a kid later on when she was biologically more mature, which means that her maturation process hadn't stopped. Once you reach adulthood, you don't mature anymore, right? Your biological maturation pauses. It plateaus. It doesn't get better or worse. It plateaus. Okay?
Go through all the stages of puberty. So, for example, there was a cross-sectional study done that actually showed that girls that were 15 and under had 4 times higher the rate of death in childbirth.
Okay.
Now, what he's talking about specifically is not just having a baby in the sense of getting pregnant or just having a zygote, just having a zygote or sperm plus egg. What he's talking about is actually being able to take it to term naturally without dying.
So you said that it's never happened where this was the case, right?
There's no case where a 9-year-old could have completed puberty, no.
Okay,
Completed puberty. Yes, that's true.
but hold on 1 second. I'm saying for somebody to get pregnant, they would have
That you changed it. Listen to his claim. Listen to what IP said. Just listen to what he said.
where this was the case, right?
There's no case where a 9-year-old could have completed puberty, no.
So that's the standard, right? Completing puberty. Now let's see whether she says, hey, here is an example of someone biologically completing puberty.
Okay, but hold on 1 second. I'm saying for somebody to get pregnant, they would have had to have gone through all the stages, correct?
No, they have to go through at least standard stage 4 because
Yeah, at least 4, which means that you have not completed puberty because you're still in stage 4.
at the end of standard stage 4
Would
is when
you
they have
consider
puberty.
that person to be pubescent or prepubescent?
If they had their first period?
I'm saying they got pregnant, so they would have already.
If they
had their
got
period.
pregnant, then they're post-pubescent. Yes.
Good. So there's an example. I don't know if you know who it is. Her name is Lena Medina.
Oh my god, no way. Yo, I preempted the hell out of this. Hold on. Okay, so couple things about Lena Medina, okay? Lena Medina is the youngest ever person to give birth to a kid. Okay? Now, biologically speaking, she was not considered an adult. Chronologically speaking, she was not considered an adult. Mentally speaking, she was not considered an adult. The only person that tried to consider her an adult was a weird doctor. One weird doctor. American doctors had skepticism. But Lena Medina had her period from the age of 3 months. Okay? Sorry, at 8 months old, for example, when she had regular menstruation from like at the age of like 2 or something. She gets pregnant at 5, I want to say, and then gives birth at like 6, I want to say. But Lena Medina was not biologically a full adult at the time of her pregnancy, and we know that because she had precocious puberty, and she had an extreme case of precocious puberty. But just because someone has precocious puberty doesn't make them an adult. It just means that they start puberty like unusually early, like really early, like early to the point that it's kind of freaky. That's all it means. Now, we can actually go to medical studies and basically demonstrate to you what puberty is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in my history because I like opening my tabs. I have so many tabs. It's actually dark. It's actually dark. I have so many tabs. It's actually dark. Let me see my tabs. Sorry. My apologies. Where is it? Ah, here it is. So precocious puberty. This is precocious puberty, as commonly defined by medical scientists. So Lokesh Sharma and Sharon Daly have a definition of this, and medically this is pretty much accepted. Okay, this is in the NLM. Precocious puberty is defined as the onset of secondary sexual characteristics before 8 in girls and before 9 in boys. So this definition endorsed by major pediatricians are just people that look after kids, doctors for kids, and endocrine societies remains the standard threshold for initiating further evaluation. Although about 3% of children fall before the statistical threshold and show signs of puberty, more than 2 standard deviations for the median age, such as premature thelarchy, premature adrenarchy, which are again self-limited, non-progressive, don't actually require treatment. Only a small subset of children with signs of early puberty exhibit progressive activation of the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, warranting evaluation and treatment. True precocious puberty, which is what affected Lena, affects approximately 0.2% of girls and 0.05% of boys. Recent decades, the onset of puberty has shifted earlier, particularly among young girls, likely influenced by rising rates of childhood obesity and environmental exposures. Basically, better weather and more food, okay? Which means that if we wanted Aisha to be able to get complete puberty unusually early, she would need to have better food and better environment and a better diet plan than what these girls, who are just basically eating all of the rich foods and oils and minerals that we have today in the West. Now, the problem with precocious puberty is, by the way, and if you look at all of these studies, pediatrists and pediatricians specifically have these particular boundaries, which means that they are still biologically considered children. Like, even, medically speaking, someone that has precocious puberty is not considered biologically an adult. They're still considered a child, okay? Now, the reason why we care about PP, or precocious puberty, is because it shows sexual organ maturity. So maturity in their sexual organs, not maturity in every single aspect of their biology. They still have, for example, their prefrontal cortex to be developed, their frontal lobe to be developed, which is part of their biology. So biologically, they may still be younger, okay?
5 years old when she first got pregnant.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't agree with the means that she got pregnant by, but it's to show that it is the case that this is something that could still happen.
Okay,
right?
I got a question
And this is
about
something
that.
that happened more
I had a
moderately.
question. So you said if they have their period, they're a woman, they're an adult, they're post-pubescent. Was that 5-year-old an adult?
No, that 5-year-old was not an adult, and it wasn't considered an adult by those that examined her. No. And it's never going to be considered an adult by anyone. Simply because you start your period does not make you biologically an adult. That would make every single 8-year-old girl that starts her period a biological adult. Obviously not. Okay? Obviously not. So simply because you start a period has no bearing as to whether or not you can be considered biologically an adult. You still have to have fuller hips, for example, widening. You still have to have, for example, prefrontal cortex that has to load up. You still have to have bone structure develop and all these kinds of things that basically matter to your biology. Skin has to develop as well. So all of these things are so important when we talk about all of these kinds of things.
Yeah, so insofar as what I asked you, I was asking you in regards to what your criteria is that you're establishing. Right now, I don't think there is a criteria that you're actually giving in regards to what is considered to be a child, what is considered to be
Okay,
adult.
I'll give it.
So
What's considered to be a child is whether you are when you're chronologically and biologically considered such. Okay, chronologically usually is how we work, right? No matter how someone may develop faster, you still consider them a child.
I'll give it. You have to complete puberty. That is not completed till 15 to 17. That's why we as a society, we assign adulthood to the age of 18. Anything under 18 is a child.
Is all prots going to hell? Yeah. Cool. Someone asked, Jerome, is God logical heretic? Be honest. He's never said anything that's anathematizable, so no. Puberty does not mean maturity. Hashtag justice for Aisha. Yeah, this is you are the real super chat. You are the real super chat. But yeah, to be clear, not all prots are going to hell. I don't think all prots are going to hell because I think God can have mercy on everyone. The same way that not all Orthodox are going to heaven. So
Is
don't know
not
why
a woman.
you're
She's
trying to divide the brothers.
a child. She should not be married off.
okay.
So how do you respond to the argument from natural law, which you see that, for example, Paul...
The argument from natural law, which asserts that you can marry a child. So remember, okay, like the counter argument to what he's saying, and what he's saying is, we do not consider these people adults, okay? Biologically, we do not consider these people adults. He's going to provide a counter argument to show, okay? To show this. His argument, remember, IP's argument, if you listen to what he says, is about children, right?
Is a child. That 5-year-old is not a woman. She's a child.
She's not a woman, she's a child, which is true.
She should not be married off.
She should not be married off. What's his argument? She's a child. She should not be married off. Let's hear what he says.
Okay.
So how do you respond to the argument from natural law, which you see that, for example, Paul appeals to within Romans and Corinthians, that we can look at nature to be able to come to reason, and we see that there was...
So again, his argument is she is a child, so you shouldn't marry children. You are now going to have to give a counter argument to show that IP's argument is false, which would mean you are arguing the converse of this argument, which is the following: that you should be able to marry off children.
Is right, Christianity.
Apparently omniscient deity. Apparently.
Right, so what
Obviously, we don't agree with the means that she got pregnant.
Adult is not
natural law, which you see that, for example, Paul appeals to within Romans and Corinthians, that we can look at nature to be able to come to reason, and we see that there was no critique of this specific marriage of Muhammad والسلام, prior to the 19th century, which means that nobody prior to the 19th century made that critique, although he was criticized for other things, right? Other critics have made other points regarding it, but nobody made it regarding the marriage between him and Aisha radiallahu anha. So if you conclude that we both agree on the standard of natural law and come into reason through nature and what
I
God...
want to address something quickly in the chat, yeah, about Orthodox ecclesiology. If that's the case, okay, if that is the case, that what I do is wrong, for example, then no Orthodox cleric that participated in the Council of Florence did so correctly. And no Orthodox cleric that ever agreed with Roman Catholics in any sense whatsoever did those things correctly. Mark of Ephesus, who called the Pope a brother, even though he was a schismatic heretic at the time, was wrong for doing so. Yeah? Now, I'm not Mark of Ephesus, but I'm saying if it was good enough for Mark of Ephesus, who actually saw the uncreated light, I think it's good enough for me, even though I don't see the uncreated light. I think it's okay. Now, that said, we also have Emperor St. Justinian, who allowed Monophysite theologians to run amok just in the soft parts of the empire. He didn't care. He allowed them to exist. Does that make him a Monophysite? No. It's this old calendarist ecclesiology that harps people and harps the actual mission and witness of the church. So calm down.
Has instilled in us through who we are as human beings, and would agree that we would expect that if it was the case that it was wholly immoral during that time, how come we don't have that critique pattern?
I got where you're coming from. Okay, so here's the first problem. Practically, a lot of the hadith were not known in the Western world. So that's the first problem. The second thing is Muhammad is supposed to be the pattern of conduct for Muslims, for people in all times. And he's supposed to be getting divine revelation from God. Yet he's girl. That's evil. That's setting a bad example for humanity. And this doesn't matter. All this shows at the end of the day is Muhammad was a product of the corrupt, backwards culture of his time. We now have the scientific evidence to know that is wrong, and it should never have been prescribed by some sort of apparently omniscient deity. Apparently.
Right, so what your response is that actually the reason why we don't see that critique is because there is no access to the ahadith at that point. First of all, that's not even true.
I didn't say that. I said that practically, it says a pragmatic aspect.
Right, like on a mass scale, right?
Yeah, on a mass scale.
However, we know that there is a lot of critiques that were raised against Muhammad ﷺ. And amongst those critiques, none of them were regarding the marriage. So the argument will still follow. Why? Because
Wait, what? No. So simply because other people don't critique Muhammad for doing this doesn't mean that they endorse or accept it. As a matter of fact, St. John of Damascus doesn't really talk about his particular action of debauchery with Aisha, probably because he didn't have access to the entire corpus of hadith and narrations that basically explain this, okay? Because he doesn't go and have access to, for example, the whole Al-Zut stuff. Surely, right, like John of Damascus of all people would have probably mentioned the Al-Zut stuff. He probably just didn't have access to it. But secondly, okay, we don't have to mention every single thing. We just need to mention what's enough. John of Damascus literally says, I could go on and on and on and on and on about how heretical these people are, but I'm just going to mention a few things just to make the point. And sometimes you want to mention certain pertinent things and leave other pertinent things out. Sometimes there are things simply too disgusting to write down. I'm sorry, but I personally don't like really talking about the Aisha topic at all because I just find it disgusting. I find it disgusting that people sit here and try to justify the fact that she married a child. That he married a child. The only reason that I have to talk about it is because these people try to put him as the pinnacle of morality, okay? That's the only reason we end up talking about this thing. I have many people that are part of the Muslim community as well. And they are even abhorred by this as well. A lot of people from university and things like this, they're abhorred by the way that certain people argue about these kinds of things. But the reason we don't ever want to bring it up is not because we don't know it exists. It's because sometimes it's just unsavory to talk about. Really, truly, it's just really unsavory. The same way that there are very, very minimal commentaries on the grape of Tamar that happens with Ammon and Tamar. Now, there is a lot of data on it, but yes. But we also pass over that very, very quickly. We don't really like mentioning it because it's sick. It's sickening to talk about.
Have the critiques mean that people have access to the Quran, people have access to the Sunnah, such as John of Chrysostom, for example, who critiques Muhammad ﷺ in his writings. Yeah, we don't find a critique about child marriage, right? So we still see that.
So
you saying that it wasn't widely accessible is irrelevant. Why? Because you have a big sample data where there's a lot of critiques regarding it and not a single one pattern.
So no. The big sample data would be only regarding the actual theological points of the topic, which, for example, would usually be the fact that John of Damascus is usually taking the defensive. So John of Damascus, for example, wants to defend the Orthodox faith first. He wants to defend Christianity first. He doesn't have to polemicize. When he then heresiologically writes about you guys, he mentions a few things, but he doesn't have to mention every single thing. And bear in mind, there are certain things that are just too disgusting to write. Like, there are fathers of the church that literally say, I'm not going to talk about the things that this person does because it's disgusting. That's a thing that people do, even nowadays. There are certain controversies and things that go on in the Dawah scene that I don't like to talk about. And the reason why I don't like to talk about them is because sometimes they're just that disgusting. They're that depraved. They are that debauched. It's just not that good. Now, I don't think people need to really waste ink on that, okay? And John of Damascus says, yeah, there are certain things that are nasty. I'm just not going to talk about them because they are nasty.
So let's go on that. So we're conflating two things. The natural what, as Immanuel Kant said, out of the crooked timber of humanity, nothing straight has ever grown. I agree, there were plenty of humans in the past that believed bad, corrupt, wrong things. They're not the standard. Like the Quran says, Muhammad. Hold on, let me finish, I'll let you finish. They're not the standard. They're not getting their information from omnipotent God. We now know today, this is wrong, this is bad. The temporal lobes are not even developed in a 9-year-old to properly communicate or express or understand activity. So if you're you're messing her up mentally. Not only can you all these physical problems, it's also mentally bad. It's socially bad. This is not good for anyone. We know that now. So Islam is allowing this. You guys are kind of defending it, which I'm shocked. It's child marriage. We should just reject everyone out here should be outright, yes, child marriage is wrong. It should be abolished around the world.
We literally agree. We literally, before we began, we clarified that Islam, we don't believe there's something known as child marriage. Right? We already clarified that.
So,
now,
but I said child under the age of 18. Do you agree a child is under the age of 18?
No,
Right. Again,
that's subjective.
Okay, then we don't agree.
No. Okay, even if it's subjective, do you agree with it? You personally, do you subjectively agree to it? That's what I want to know. Do you personally think that a child is a person under the age of 18? If so, when is the cutoff for you chronologically? And if you believe there is no cutoff, then it's then it's biologically, nomologically possible that you could have a 1-year-old that's an adult. Right? You could have a 1-year-old that's an adult.
But now we
Then you don't think child marriage should be outlawed?
Real quick, but hold on. You switched it because a second ago you said that someone who's an adult is someone that completed puberty, and that could happen between 15 and 17. Now all of a sudden you're saying under 18. So I'm very confused on which time you want.
Let me clarify.
The reason why is because you want to have a chronological age that you can have as ubiquitous. And the second reason is so that you can guarantee that every single person actually does complete puberty. And it's not just puberty of the body, so biologically, but you also have mental puberty as well. So you actually have to develop as an adult thinker as well.
So let me finish. Now, regarding Islam, our stance is very simple. Islam is going to be dependent upon the circumstances of the individuals. Meaning, if it was the case that at a specific point in time, it wouldn't entail physical or mental harm, and someone would have been post-pubescent and fully mature, then the marriage can be done, right? However, if it is going to entail, such as today, and this is the people according to Peter D. Glockman, when he mentioned this, if it is going to entail harm today, meaning that people can attain pubescence, but they don't attain monarchy, right? It is going to be the case that today would entail harm, therefore would not be allowed Islamically. It's very simple.
So they can have pubescence, but they don't have menarche. So you still believe that there are post-pubescent people that are children. So therefore, what you care about isn't whether they're pre or post-pubescent at all. You care about whether they're monarchic. So I don't understand why there's this idea of post-pubescence being thrown around. You know the reason why we say pre-pubescent is because they are pre-completing the age of puberty. There is no person that is post-pubescent that has not completed puberty. Okay, that's just like definitionally the case.
Now, regarding your point regarding how, we know that there's humans around the world that have justified bad things happening in society. Well, the thing is, we're talking about a universal aspect, meaning that all humans, everyone who's critiquing Muhammad, none of them recognize this something that's inherently abhorrent.
Well, hold up.
So the people around him didn't think it's wrong, therefore it's right. Yeah, great theology, man. Also, this is a great face. Fantastic face. Hold on. I got a tweet about this.
I got to address. You've been going for a while. Let me address all these points.
I'm about to
Finish up. You get 20
now,
seconds.
Paul is the one that appeals to natural law. Obviously, we know that when it comes to natural law, when it comes
When does he appeal to natural law?
to knowing these things that are known by disposition, they are known prior to revelation.
When does he appeal to natural law, though? I don't understand.
Right? So if it is the case that they're known prior to revelation,
Oh, did I typo? The A you make when you hear bass theology. Hold on. Let me edit this post. The face you make when you hear. Yeah. That should be a meme.
would expect at least someone to make that critique.
Okay, now I'm going to respond. You've talked for a while. I'm going to go on for a couple minutes here.
Yeah,
So
that's
first of all, not everyone around the world had access to the Hadith. Okay, there's a problem here. It's not like we had a big global community and all voted, I think Muhammad was bad. This happened in 1857. No, did not
That's funny.
happen. So this is, you're appealing
Sorry for the rated live, or you can continue. Sorry, Father, your blessing. Appreciate it.
to something that just did not happen. So let's go back to me trying to tell you what a child is here. Let's start with this because we need to get over this, okay? So
Yeah, agreed on that.
no puberty is complete between the ages of 15 or 17. We can't, as a society, constantly be going around.
Yeah, because we need to decide a legal age. So someone being legally considered an adult might have biology to do with it. So you need to talk about the factors that you might have to use and utilize in order to actually come to an agreed upon age. And especially when it comes to Islam, when it comes to your particular societies, you do need to endorse an age. Otherwise, there will just be no cutoff point, and then anyone can sort of marry anything that they want, and there's like zero and then you can justify it with whatever means you can. If I say, oh, you just need to be biologically mature, I can make up biological maturity and just say this person's biologically mature because I found bone structure kind of developed, and then boom, that person's an adult, and then I can marry them sickly. So what you need to do as a society is establish an age, because what everyone can measure, what every single person can measure, is chronology. You have a birth certificate. The birth certificate starts your time. Boom, on to the point of which you're married. So you need an objective way, or rather an intersubjective way, or even rather a dependent way that people can use to be able to actually ascertain like ages of people.
Check in hip development, Tanner stage 5 development. That is impractical. So we just assign adulthood to the age of 18. That's still far better than 9.
Yeah, that's still far better than 9. You can even say like a 16, bro. If you want to say 16 is an adult, okay, whatever. It's better than 9. Like the point is, no matter what you want to say, someone being chronologically at 9 isn't going to be considered an adult. No matter how many factors you may put in, no matter if their bone structure is developed, we just don't have any human beings that have ever been specifically at the age of 9, biologically 18. And even if they were biologically 18, they weren't mentally 18, which is why they needed psychiatry, which is why they needed psychologists to be able to actually develop their age, which means they were still kids.
The problem right there. Now, if you want to talk to what ancient people did, we can talk about that. So Michael Satlow talking about the ancient...
Medieval Maidens by Michael Satlow, W book. Oh, I spelled that wrong. I don't know why my thing's glitching. Okay. Hold on, let's try this again. CHAEL. Okay. Okay. Don't know why my typing is so slow. But yes, Jewish Marriage and Society by Michael Satlow. I believe this is Medieval Maidens. Yeah. Jewish Marriage and Antiquity. This is a good book. So yeah, go and read Michael Satlow.
Jews in Palestine said they were marrying girls on average between the ages of...
Oh my God, is that the Korah video? Whoa, 77,000? Yo! Look at this chat, 77,000, bro. 77,000. 77,000 of you thought this was relevant? My Lord, man. My Lord. Holy, okay, yeah.
Mid-teens to early 20s. Amram Troper says late teens to early 20s.
Yeah.
Brent Shaw in the Roman Empire, he says late
St. Basil, 21.
teens to early 20s. So does Keith Hopkins. Then you get to the Middle Ages. Kim Phillips in her book Medieval Maidens says again,
Told
that's
you,
the thing.
bro.
So
Can I
it was
rap?
not a normal practice to be marrying a 6-year-old, let alone... This is evil, and if Muhammad is the pattern of conduct, that's setting a bad example. That's going to lead to all sorts of harm, as it has around the world. UNICEF
Facts.
reports high levels of child marriage in
Facts.
North Africa, in the
Facts.
Middle East. This
Facts.
is horrible.
Facts.
We are torturing these girls.
Yeah, but like, let's just agree. Today it's bad. Like, we know today it's bad. But the problem is, they know that you could actually do a Sorites paradox where you could just say, okay, it was bad today. Was it bad a year ago? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way back. There's never going to be a point in time where biologically we were so changed in this small 1,400 year biological stint, which is like a blip when it comes to the actual evolution of human beings, the evolution and progress of human beings. There's never been a time within this 1,400 year gap where we were so vastly different that the actual biological makeup of us was so fundamentally different that it's completely disanalogous. Okay.
Why would we not want to reject that and say, yes, child marriage should be outlawed around the world. No one should be getting married around the ages of under the ages of 18. And yes, if you're going to bring up random U.S. states that allow it, I condemn them as well.
Hold on, guys. Did you know?
No, I did not know. You have a bald head. Get me on the stream. By the way, shout out to Brian. I'm not shouting out Brian Davila. You guys already know him.
Appealing to natural law, etc. That's going to be the criteria that we're going by here.
Natural law allows for you to douche a child. That's great. That's another quote, bro. Natural law allows you to douche a child, bro. Cold theology.
We're going back for
everyone spam Wesh in the chat. Guys, natural law allows you to douche a child, bro. Wesh. Everyone spam Wesh in the chat, bro. All I want to see is Wesh. Yeah? That's all I want to see. For the remainder of this sound, all I want to see is Wesh. You can douche a child because natural law made it so. Wesh. Fam, halas, she's won the whole argument, bro. Wesh. The whole thing, Wesh. If you don't know what Wesh is, just type it, Wesh. What the heck? Douching a child. Wesh. You man might not know what Wesh is. I will explain it. Wesh. Oh la la, subhanallah. Wesh. Wesh. Because what do you mean? If we look at natural law, guys, you can douche a child. What are you saying? What are we saying? We're just allowing this to exist on the internet. Wallahi azim, we are finished, bro. Okay, so Wesh, I've explained this before on stream. Wesh means yo. So if something crazy happens, you'll say, yo, Wesh, okay? If something disgusting happens, yo, Wesh, okay? If you want to say hello to someone, yo, Wesh, okay? Wesh is the most versatile thing ever. Anytime there is something burst that happens, Wesh. The counter represents Wesh. So anytime they say something pedophilic, Wesh. That's it. We don't need them to explain, because when they come over, because the Muslims watch me as well, when they watch my videos, okay, they're gonna be like, what's Wesh? Like, what is that? Wesh, bro. That's what it is. It's Wesh. So whenever something happens, Wesh. Okay. Cool. Ça va? Wesh. Okay.
Christianity versus Islam. Islam itself doesn't give a particular age. It gives...
Thank God. So any age is acceptable. So chronologically, there's no cutoff point. And because chronologically, there's no cutoff point, legally, there's no cutoff point, it's down to your particular interpretation of biology.
The criteria. Christianity
and I
does...
said that's bad.
1 second.
I said that's bad.
Christianity also does...
Someone said, Jerome, do you need money? Yes. Send me 1,000. You won't do it, bro. You won't do it.
The same thing. It doesn't give a particular
Send me 1,000,
age.
bro.
Okay. I think
Send me
you appeal
48,000.
sometimes to Ezekiel 16. There's also the passage in 1 Corinthians 7, right? Neither of those two gives an age.
Age of marriage is 21. For the Orthodox Church, it's 21. We can get people that were conducted younger, but technically, if we want to go by the monastic tradition, it's 21. Yeah.
They only give a physical, or, yeah.
Let me address that. Let me address that.
I'm not...
God logic, we just read Jerome Wesh. Yes! Yes! Start the rumors! Start the narratives, guys! Start them! Start the narratives, yes!
I'm not...
Okay, finish up. I want to address the passage.
Now, Jerome, what's your Cash App? Streamlabs. Streamlabs in the description. Streamlabs in the description.
You brought up.
Okay, so I'm not appealing to the passages in particular, by the way. But my point being is that in you saying there's a particular age that we have to go by, etc., well, that age is not something that's going to hold up in regards to society for every single society.
No, if you have one particular societal group, yes, you need a particular age, and it needs to be ubiquitous if the society is supposed to be bounded and founded and based on the principles of the religion. So if we need to have a legal age that every single person can establish, every single person can establish, then yes, we would need to choose an age so that anywhere you go, it's ubiquitous across the region, so that nobody's confused. That's the idea.
He quoted for you from
Unknown X1717, thank you so much for the 5, man. I really do appreciate it. All the super chats I appreciate. I do appreciate the love. Yes, sometimes I sound grifty. I'm just joking, but yes, well, the donations do mean a lot. I really do appreciate it. You guys are helping me massively, and yes, we are on the road to full-time stuff, and I do want to make content full-time. But in order for us to do so, we all need to be committed. It's a team effort, okay? W Grift.
Gluckman's paper,
Why didn't YouTube notify me? Put on notifications.
Monarchy and mental maturity is something which used to be in line at some point, and now what we find is a fluctuation between the two of them, whereby in today's society, we don't find them being the same. They're going to be vastly different.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
Yeah.
hold on. Let me address her, then we'll go to you. So so on this whole issue, so yes, I agree that it doesn't set an age, but Ezekiel 16 says that you cannot. The age for love making does not happen until after she has basically completed puberty. The breasts are fully formed, her hair is fully grown. She has to
Which
complete it.
translation is
Hold
this
on, let me finish. Let me
Right.
finish. So that's the issue right there. But again, at the end of the day, we're talking about the effects of society. Christian societies are outlawing this. We don't see 9-year-olds getting married in America. We don't see it happening here. This is bad. But you guys over here are saying, yes, it's perfectly fine to take a girl to...
We literally
And we
said-
should be okay with
we already
that.
said that we shouldn't do that because of these studies that we've shown you, and you're not responding to them.
Yeah,
Someone-
So we shouldn't douche a child. Okay. So if someone douches a chronological child, would you be... This is what we need to... Guys, I'm deep. Just ask them this. In all cases where someone douches a chronological child, is that okay? Just ask them this. Like, all of the talk, just pause it there. Let's know the person I'm talking to, okay? Because all of these 3 people speak English. All of them are westernized. None of them are like Islamified, like guys, they lived in the East. No. All of them, to some degree, are westernized, gentrified bres. All of them make way more money than me. All of them are more famous than me. All of that stuff, okay? All of them, okay? This brother's wearing a hoodie. It's not Muslimic, okay? I'm just saying. Ask them very simply. In all cases where a person douches, yeah? Where a person douches a chronological child, is that okay? Is that wrong in all cases? Just ask them that. Just ask them that. In all cases where you douche a chronological child, is it wrong? And then go from there. Because now we know your character. Okay? Now we know your character. That's it.
Just,
Can you have sex?
Nobody should be having intercourse with someone who's 9 years old because
So
that
then
would-
Muhammad was a sinner.
No, it doesn't.
Thank you. Yes. 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 You should not douche a 9-year-old. Yes. Because now we know your character. He knows it's bad, by the way. Shout out to this brother. Even his face, bro. His face is unbelievable. This is getting put on Twitter. Look at that. His face is unbelievable. Even he knows. Wesh. Even he knows. Wesh. Because what do you mean, in all cases, there is a case somewhere in the world, on the planet, where you can douche a child and that's okay? No. Okay? No. And it's the reason why having these arguments, to some degree, there's a level of like professionalism you have to have. But at the same time, you have to cut it off. I'm being so serious because your mind, bro. Your mind will go crazy. That's just it. Life, what's up?
Yo,
Yo.
yeah, man. So I mean, what don't you understand? They're saying you shouldn't do it, but Muhammad did it, and he's not wrong for doing it.
My mind, bro. Like, you have to understand that. My mind is dark, bro. like, my mind. Because what do you mean? Oh, you shouldn't douche someone that's chronologically 9. But he douched someone that was chronologically 9. But it's okay for him.
Because it didn't entail harm, bro.
So that means that you can chronologically douche a 9-year-old that reaches menarche. And that's fine so long as you have a micro PP. That's it. If your willy is small, no, don't laugh. No, if your willy is small enough, you can douche a 9-year-old.
Wow.
If your willy is small enough, you can douche a 9-year-old. Why are people laughing? No, Wesh. Guys, comment Wesh in the chat. No, if she's chronologically 9, She's reached menarche, meaning she can get pregnant. According to them, menarches, you can get pregnant, okay? So you can have sperm meet your fertilized egg, which is just when you start your period, okay? And because of that fact, so long as your bola is small enough, get in jaw. That's what they believe. That's their whole thing. They say, okay, they said the Wudina Wunati, you can put the Wudina Wunati in if it's small enough. So essentially, and this is where it gets nuts, yeah? If it's like this big, okay? Like the size of a key. And you put enough, like, I don't know what kind of people you like, ointments or whatever, okay? Water-based lubricant. It's fine because she can hack it. This is dark. This is dark. And we're sitting here justifying it. Like, no, my mind, bro. My mind, like, we're talking about dushing kids, bro. What are we talking about? And why are we sitting here trying to justify this? Like, listen to what he's saying.
The fact that they even debate it is insane, bro.
That's nuts to me.
It's a losing debate no matter what. Like, even the most unknowledgeable person can talk. It like I don't care if they're debating and someone is giving the wrong answers. They still lost. It's a losing debate.
Do you know what it is, yeah? I don't hate any of these people. It's just nasty to me, okay? But, like, even by my standards, okay? Like, a lot of the time, I act very unprofessionally in terms of making jokes and wild. But I'm evoking the emotion that every single other person has when they watch this video. I'm just able to do it because there's 200 people watching me. That's it. I don't understand this, bro.
Yeah, you gotta prep. You gotta prep yourself when you're debating this stuff here.
No, you have to. The thing about, okay, because there's a lot of terms that people jump through, and this is where I'm going to calm down. There are 3 general terms of ages that people need to really care about. So you have biological maturity, or your biological age. You have your legal age, and then you have your chronological age. Okay? Usually, we will attach a legal age according to chronological age. Okay? So when someone says that the age of adulthood or the age of voting is 18, they mean chronologically, when you have lived 18 years on this earth, you can vote. Right? In most countries. Okay? Or 21. Okay? Biological age is different. And then you have mental age. Right? And you can also have spiritual age as well, technically as a Christian, right? Because even though I'm X number of years old, I'm technically only 6 months old spiritually. Okay? Now, that means, and that doesn't mean that's the date of my baptism. It's not chronological either, because someone could be baptized for 40 years and could still be a spiritual baby. You see what I mean? So we have all these different kinds of ages, floating around, right? But when they're talking about age, they've reduced it to simply biological age and whether they can remember a lot. Because one of their justifications really for Aisha being mentally mature is she memorized a bunch of stuff. That was it. So if you memorize a bunch of spelling tests, brother, you're an adult. Like, this is the problem, okay? And again, with respect to people within this community, okay, I just don't understand. It's not that I don't understand. There is no way to understand this without throwing up.
It does.
It doesn't
No, it
follow.
doesn't.
You know what doesn't follow? Because at that point, it didn't entail harm.
Yes, it did.
Okay, and I'm giving you a reason why it didn't.
Yes, it
Why
did.
didn't it tell harm? What, for Muhammad? Why didn't it tell harm? Either she was able to hack it, which is nasty, or he was small enough. That was it.
Can you address that? According to Peter D. Gluckman,
What's the name of the paper?
Development
Development and the Timing of Puberty.
Right.
Exactly, beautiful. And he makes the conclusion in his graph that there was a point when menarche and pubescence were in correlation. That is no longer the case.
No, you're confusing the chart. The chart is age of menarche.
Conclusion.
Evolution, development, and the timing of puberty.
Right.
Evolution, development, the timing of puberty. Evolution, development, and timing of puberty. So this is the paper by Gluckman. I don't know why it's taking me so long. Okay, so can someone get me this PDF, please? The age of menarche has fallen as child health has improved. Although there's an ample evidence of delayed puberty being associated with poorer childhood nutrition, which is actually going to be a very important thing for Aisha, because what was Aisha's diet? Cucumbers and dates. That's not enough. Like, where is your protein? Menarche is also influenced by prenatal factors, meaning their mum. In particular, early onset of puberty is reported in children who have migrated from developing to developed countries. evolutionary perspective suggests that these effects can be explained by adaptive mechanisms. So again, Aisha never transferred countries, right? They also provide an explanation for the human pubertal growth spurt. In the past few decades, as puberty has advanced, biological maturation has come to precede psychosocial maturation significantly for the first time in our evolutionary history. Although this developmental mismatch has considerable societal implications, care has to be taken not to medicalize contemporary early puberty inappropriately. Because obviously when you have this new study, people might think, oh yeah, like puberty is getting really, really out of whack. But anyways, what I want to find is the actual picture that was given. Can anyone give me the paper, please, like the full text? Because I want to be able to read it, but I can't be bothered to get full text access. If someone can get me full text access, that would be great. Someone send a PDF in the server. Send a PDF in the server, please. Thank you.
Exactly, beautiful. And he makes the conclusion in his graph that there was a point when menarche and pubescence were in correlation. That is no longer the case.
No, you're confusing the chart. The chart is age of menarche and social cycle development.
Exactly.
That's the point, though.
Were they matching at some point?
What was that? Yeah, they were.
Are they matching today?
No, they're not. No, but that's
Beautiful.
not the point.
Thank
the
you.
point is that the green on the chart, what you're pulling up there, the green shows when age of menarche happened.
Yeah.
And at that time, they're saying, well, the girls didn't need that much education at that time to develop. So they could be more implemented in society quicker. But now we have more education because it's better for them. Thank goodness, thank good for the West promoting more education. Amen to
And
that.
Islam.
So
And Islam,
so let's go on to that. So, but that's the problem. Age of menarche.
Wait, what did he say?
Of menarche happened. And at that time, they're saying, well, the girls didn't need that much education at that time to develop. So they could be more implemented in society quicker. But now we have more education because it's better for them. Thank goodness, thank good for the West promoting more education. Amen to
And
that.
Islam.
So
Islam,
so let's go on to that. So
And Islam.
that's the
How
problem.
do you rope in Islam there?
Age of menarche did not happen according to that paper at 9. There is no possible.
That's
Hold on,
irrelevant.
let me
That's
finish.
literally
Let me
straw
finish.
man.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
There is no possible way that Aisha could have reached puberty, could have had her first period at 9, according to the paper you cited, because that shows it had to happen after the age of 10, and that was at least 1% only.
Wait, hold on. So you agreed with me earlier when I first asked you in regards to somebody getting pregnant, they would have to have their period first, right?
Yes, and Aisha couldn't.
Okay, but I gave you an example. You said it's an impossibility. Is it logical?
Yeah, but in order for someone to get pregnant, they have to have the period first. But just because you have your period first doesn't make you an adult. Otherwise, every single 8-year-old would be an adult, even today, biologically, which is not true, right? No pediatrician considers every single, menstruation starter as an adult biologically. That's just not true.
Impossible?
Is it logically impossible for what?
For somebody to not have their period before 9 or at 9?
No, wait, hold on. What are you saying? What,
You can have someone that has a period before 9, 8-year-olds, yes.
this doesn't
You
doesn't
said
follow what I was
it's
trying to say.
impossible for her to have had her period by then, correct?
Biologically, yes.
Biologically because of her diet. Now, I don't necessarily know how he's going to substantiate this, but I hope it's good.
Okay, and I gave you an example of today.
Today,
Modern day.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not possible for her, yes, because her diet at the time would mean that puberty would have to be kicked up a couple years because her diet was cucumbers and grapes. Her body physically would just not have been able to mature enough for her to start her period.
Modern day, a girl who's at the age of 5 had her period and she was pregnant as well.
Yes, because she had better dieting and standards. This is controversial, but LEDCs today, or LEDCs in the 1900s, are better than EDCs in the 1400s, which are better than EDCs in the 600s. I know, crazy.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible.
So basically, what you're saying is there was this crazy genetic.
She's not the
fluke.
only. No, it's
Hold
not
on,
the
hold on.
only thing.
The
I'm giving you
reason
an
why that can
example by
happen
name.
today is
Not
because,
cucumbers and grapes, dates.
according to the paper you cited,
Right.
nutrition has gotten better. And if nutrition got better, that means the age of menarche starts to lower. But in the time of Muhammad, it wasn't. It was higher.
Really?
So yeah,
That's not
that's
what
what the chart
all the study says.
says.
The study says more than that, though.
One second,
No,
one second,
that's what the
guys.
chart
I'm sorry, I'm
says.
sorry.
That's what the chart
So-
says.
Good.
Yeah, so Imam al-Shafi'i, okay, he's somebody who comes after Muhammad, peace be upon him. He speaks about the individuals of his time period,
Right.
as well as Aisha radiallahu anha, by the way, but this is afterwards. So Imam al-Shafi'i, rahimahullah, he speaks about the people that come after in his time period, okay, and he says that he has observed with his own eyes where an individual who was 9 years old, okay, she gave birth to one child, and then her child
Where's it
gave
say
birth.
that?
Yeah, this is
That he gave birth, even if someone has the ability to give birth, which would again still require C-section, that doesn't make them an adult. Simply the ability for you to be able to carry a zygote with assisted term doesn't make you an adult. It just doesn't make you an adult at all. Because we have children who could actually start puberty unusually early at the age of 5, and they could be able to carry the baby to term, or at the age of 4, and they would actually have the zygote, and they could die during childbirth. That doesn't make them an actual adult if they can just have the baby through C-section.
This is in his books.
Where was the source?
It's
Which
Risala.
book?
So it's an Islamic
Risala.
source.
He's a historian.
He's observing
because
it.
he's someone that's contemporary to that time and he's making an observation.
So according to you,
my
so
gosh.
again, I said this was an external critique.
Oh
I'm
my
saying
goodness.
that if that was
Does that mean
can't
we're talking about
happen.
historical
we're talking about
references?
historical
You've studied
dates.
now two sources that contradict each other. The paper, Evolution, Development, and the Timing of Puberty, shows that could not have happened.
No, it
But then
doesn't-
you
it doesn't-
said,
wait, where does
but
it say
according
that
to our
it could-
Islamic
wait,
sources,
where does it say that could not
hold
happen?
up. According to
Yeah,
Islamic
it
sources,
say that.
it did
It says
happen.
literally they can have earlier
Therefore,
miracles.
you just said Islam contradicts reality. Thank you.
So real quick, you're making a few blunders. First of all, the study never said it could not
What?
have happened because the study, number one, it doesn't account for the specific
No. What's the blunder? Please.
sample within Middle Eastern countries. That's number one, and it doesn't account for anomalies.
Wait, what? No. You're saying that the study doesn't account for Middle Eastern countries. What's so special about Middle Eastern countries such that your biological development is going to be so out of whack from literally the rest of the planet? What is that? Like, I hate when people do this. They're like, you did not account for this. No. Explain why accounting for that is important. Okay? Is chronological development in Africa going to be different from chronological development in England? No. Okay? Are the factors that influence chronological development in England going to be different from the factors that influence chronological development in Africa going to be different? No. They're not. Now, the explication of those factors in reality, there might be some variance. There might be some difference. Maybe. Okay? But it's not ubiquitous. It's just not. Why are we acting like it is? I don't understand.
Study never says it couldn't have happened because the study, number one, it doesn't account for the specific sample within Middle Eastern countries. That's number one, and it doesn't account for anomalies. That's number two. Number three, Imam Shafi'i.
So this is the actual. Okay, so I just had to get the paper up. Okay, I just had to get the paper up. So I'm just gonna download this PDF quickly because now I have the PDF. Okay, this is the Gluckman paper. This is the Gluckman paper that everyone's citing. Okay. And I want you to pay attention to what's going on in the Gluckman paper. Evidence for genetic effects on the timing of puberty can also be inferred from the secular trend in the age of menarche. Northern Europeans seem to have later menarche than those from Southern Europe, but both have shown similar and parallel reductions in the age of menarche over recent decades. So the Northerners have worse because they have less nutrition, okay? They have less nutrition value. And so they have different particular things, for example, prenatal influences. Recent advances in our understanding of developmental plasticity and life history biology provide one explanation of why puberty might be advanced in those with evidence of an impaired intrauterine environment as reflected in birth size. The developing organism can respond to environmental cues with two classes of adaptive responses, both of which can influence the timing of menarche. This literally means, as far as back in the womb, your specific menarchic state is influenced, okay? Your actual menarchic state is influenced in the womb. You hearing this, life? Even in the womb, your menarchic state, so how you're going to have puberty is affected. Your mum affects puberty even when you're in her belly. Now...
Interesting. So they're misusing his work.
Well, yes, because this is the graph, okay? So the graph is what they're talking about here. Figure 1 is showing the relationship, this is the figure, by the way, the relationship between childhood nutrition and the age of menarche, okay? There is an inverse relationship between the age of menarche, and this is the important thing, child nutritional status, but being born smaller also advances menarche. So if you're just physically smaller, you're going to reach menarche later, meaning puberty will take longer, which, again, you could just observe this, right? Like, if you have a girl that looks smaller, she's probably going to, like, look younger and develop a bit slower, right? Now, but the prenatal influence is more marked at higher postnatal nutritional levels. This means, even in the womb, if your mum has very poor nutrition, that will affect you when you grow up, and you might even have to take longer to reach the pubic stage. So the question I would like to ask is, what the hell was Aisha's mum's diet? What was she eating all day? Because she wasn't eating cucumbers and dates. And was she taking in the proper balanced diet in order for her to develop quickly? And what was the age that their parents' parents actually reached puberty? Because that genetically influences it. So you can see the green line there. This is the poorer fetal growth that we're talking about, right? So childhood nutritional status, the lower the childhood nutritional status is, for example, the higher menarche is going to be, as you can see here, okay? So if we look at these particular factors, given the close interaction between these two developmental effects become manifest most dramatically in the combination of prenatal, so before you are born, early life deprivation, with childhood nutritional excess, as seen in adopted children migrated from poor to rich countries. So let's say you took a broke kid, you put them in a rich country, they still wouldn't mature as fast as them because they've been so affected from when they were born. Both environmental effects are predicted to advance menarche. We anticipate that the prenatal effect would be stronger in those children born small who are in a nutritionally enriched postnatal environment, as reflected in good weight gain in childhood, and indeed this is what is observed. The prenatal effect on age of menarche is much stronger in females in the highest quintile of childhood weight gain. There might be a further interaction as well. Animal and human neonates, so animal and human newborns, are more likely to develop childhood obesity because predictive adaptive responses induce both central and peripheral drivers to obesity. Basically, if you eat more, you get fatter, so fatter kids are probably going to develop quicker. These processes together offer an explanation of earlier puberty associated with migration. So these people start eating a bit more. Yes, they might still be affected, but they will still be eating more, so then they actually get puberty better. So this graph that they've basically tried to use is a lie. Okay. So the higher age of menarche, right, as you can see, your higher age of menarche is directly associated with your child nutritional status. So if you have poor nutritional status, your menarche age is really, really high. And this is across all graphs, like ubiquitous. It doesn't matter if it's humans or if it's fishes or anything. This is the menarche mismatch that they're talking about, which is the relationship between the likely age of ranges of menarche and achievement of psychosocial maturity. Now, this is a different particular thing. I don't know why they're talking about this one. This is talking about the actual psychosocial effects of maturity that they actually have. So, like, how they develop, like, intellectually. But this is talking about biologically. And that's what they should be concerned with. Basically, menarche is pushed up if you have poor nutrition. Menarche is pulled back if you have good nutrition. So you'll reach menarche sooner. But we know, according to the hadith, that Aisha's diet was cucumbers and dates. It's not a sustainable diet. See what I'm saying, Life?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we already know too as well too. I mean, they were doing things. For example, her mom was doing things to quote unquote fatten her up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For Muhammad in the first place. I mean,
Yeah.
but all of that, like all of that is just a cope mechanism to try to allude to the fact that this is either okay or not. I mean, even with all of that, let's say you grant whatever it is that they are trying to misrepresent in this guy's graph, none of that matters. Like
No.
it's still wrong
Mhm.
on all levels, because like what we were establishing here is that their idea of readiness is the start of the puberty, right? Even if they menstruate, let's say one time, now she's ready to go. That's not it. The body
It's
has
just
to
not the
fully
case.
develop and be ready to go.
Yeah.
What they do is they take it from basically, like I said, the start of the race, and it's just like, bro, that's just not it. It doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter what you say, doesn't matter how you try to claim it didn't entail harm. Like it doesn't, like none of that matters. It's still wrong. But then here they are saying, oh yeah, I'm arguing for it, but then I'm not arguing for it at the same time. Yeah, it's wrong, but Muhammad did it, so it was okay in the 7th century.
Like,
but now
are you a
all the
pedophile?
Muslims,
No. Yes, you are. Like, this is what I'm saying.
and all the Muslims that are following in line, and like I said, I mean, I even put this in my video. Like, I'm not saying that the Muslims that do it in these Muslim countries
Yeah.
are simply doing it because he did it.
Yeah.
These are also sick people who want to do this,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they
yeah.
don't see that it's wrong because he did it. So it's, wait a minute, if he is our pattern of conduct, like you'll get, IP is going to start breaking down that as well. If he is our pattern of conduct, what reason do we have to believe that him doing this in the 7th century is not okay and not applicable to us in today's day and age? Because he's the pattern of conduct. He shouldn't have done anything that we have to now deem wrong in the 21st century. So, I mean, it's very interesting to hear what they're doing. It's basically a whole yes/no debate. So it's very weird. But like I say, it's lose-lose no matter what.
I don't know.
Yeah,
He does
I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm saying it was okay when he did it. Like, what do you like? What?
Yeah, it's best. It's actually best.
mention this, and he's someone that's contemporary to
So
that
let's
ti-
go on that. Anomalies. We're talking about which is better. Anomalies.
So real
So
quick,
if an anomaly has, it's okay to have sex with them?
Okay, can you let me finish? Again,
It's okay to have sex with
let,
them?
let me finish. So, no, you shouldn't do that. I already
Wait. So this person sinned. Fantastic. So listen. So the example that he gave of a 9-year-old giving birth to a person, he's saying that the person that had sex with that chronological 9-year-old was wrong for that. Okay, it's a sin. So just say Muhammad was wrong then, if he consummated. He did the same thing. She was 9 too. As a matter of fact, it was wrong. The person that was able to give birth, right, by your lights, has more of a claim to adulthood because she was able to give birth. Whereas Aisha never had a kid, so we don't know necessarily whether she actually had that cutoff point yet, right? So by your lights, if a person who has sex with a 9-year-old, with an 8-year-old, because you would have to be 8 years old, if a person who has sex with an 8-year-old who can give birth is wrong for doing that, then surely having sex with a 9-year-old who can't or didn't is also wrong, right?
clarified.
Whoa, okay, good.
So,
good,
so,
good.
so
Keep going.
let me finish. So again, we know in the case, according to the study, in the case that someone is pubescent at that time, it wouldn't entail harm. That's by your concession because you said
No, I didn't.
You see that because
was no
you
concession
said
there.
that it's not possible for Aisha to have been pubescent. If it was the case, then according to you,
It's not biologically possible for Aisha specifically to have been pubescent. That's not the case. That's not the same as saying it's biologically impossible for every single person. Simply saying, for example, it's biologically impossible for me to grow taller than 6'3". That doesn't mean it's biologically impossible for every single person that lives in the UK to grow taller than 6'3". It's not the same thing.
and the conclusion they made from the study, then it would follow indeed, right?
You're taking what I said out of context.
No.
No, let me clarify.
So let me
I did not say harm. I said there was no. I was talking about pre-pubescent. Aisha was pre-pubescent.
We disagree with that.
Yeah, we
So at that
disagree.
point,
By
but
her
in
own
terms of
words, she
harm,
says that she wasn't.
when I was talking about harm, I mentioned physical and mental harm as well.
Beautiful.
So it doesn't matter.
Beautiful counter again. Thank you.
You're having teen, a
Doesn't matter.
preteen, anything. It's going to be harmful to them.
Jerome, my guy will lead debate Agan again on Christology and future. Is this chapter closed for you? Much love and great stream so far. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind, man. But I feel like I just want to let the bishops do the ecumenical dialogue stuff, man. I don't want me and Agan to now cause a wrench in the works, bro, because for some reason people watch our content. So, but yeah, no, definitely having a dialogue with Agan would always be a nice time. But it's a lot to do because I love it. It's very interesting.
We should reject this. Sex with anyone under 18 should be outlawed.
that according to
Islam says it's
Christianity?
okay.
Is
That's
that
Can we
evil.
make like a final
Thank
point?
you.
Move to
Thank you.
Hold on.
second
Yeah.
I
point.
just want to know, is that according to Christianity or is that according to...
Again, Ezekiel 16.
Okay, so according to Islam, do you think that it's wrong to have sexual relations with anybody under the age of 18? Let's just have it out. Can we actually just discuss that, please? Like for them, is having carnal relations with someone who's chronologically under the 18 okay? In any case.
Yes.
modern secular
According to
society.
Ezekiel 16.
Ezekiel 16
What
doesn't give you a
translation?
number. It
'Cause,
doesn't say
yeah,
18.
it
just
says
gives
entered
you-
puberty in
Wait.
the NIV.
No.
Yeah, and it gives you,
Let me
it
read
gives
it.
you, hold on, it gives
I
you
gotta read it
certain
then.
indications of
Hold on,
pubescence,
let me
which
read
we
it.
also don't disagree with, right?
Let me read it.
Pubic hair, the growing of breasts, etc. Those are also indications that we have as well. So that doesn't contradict Islam.
So when does puberty complete?
yeah, again, it completes when the
Can we-
individual goes
let's-
through all of
let's
these.
allow-
No, don't let him do that. No, let her answer.
Does puberty complete?
Let's just to get a word in as well.
So when puberty completes between the ages of 15 or 17.
Is
So
that
it
the
says
case
here in
everywhere?
Ezekiel 16 when he's talking about the girl, he says, okay,
Oh, so that objection was so irrelevant. Listen to what she says.
between the ages of 15 or 17.
Is
So
that
it
the
says
case
here in
everywhere?
Ezekiel
Is that the same everywhere? Like, what are we talking about?
16 when he's talking about the girl, he says, okay, I made you flourish like a plant of the field.
Wait, so 15
and
is
you
okay,
grew up, hold
Happy?
up, you go, man, calm down, it's
Go
okay.
ahead.
So,
Go ahead.
I'm just reading.
You know what I also think as well? Because this is the first time they've ever been featured on like a huge platform, they're like really chomping at the bit and excited to get as many clips in as possible. You have to relax, bro. You have to assume that like when you do content, I'm just gonna give this game away for free. You have to assume that you're gonna be back here at some point. Right? You have to assume, oh, I'm probably gonna get back here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my time. I'm actually gonna act natural. I'm gonna act like I've been here before. You people do not act like you've been here before, bro. Calm down.
And you grew up and became tall and arrived at full adornment. Your
Full adornment, which would mean that you became an adult.
breasts were formed, and your hair had grown, yet you were naked and bare. When I passed by you again, I saw you, and behold, you were at the age of lovemaking. So when the breasts are formed, when she is fully formed, then is the age for lovemaking. So according to this principle in Christianity that we get from the Bible, no, you have to wait till she is finished. That's the age of lovemaking. Meanwhile, in Islam, you're saying, no, it can happen before that. That's bad, that's harmful. The studies all show this. Do you deny that the studies don't show child marriage is harmful?
No, I agree with that. We already got
You
this.
agree that? Okay, great.
On the Islam,
Great.
So child marriage is harmful. So where does Islam specifically say that child marriage is wrong? That marrying chronological children is wrong? Where? Where does Islam say that marrying a chronological child is wrong? This is the question.
Men.
And under Islam, anything that's harmful is going to be impermissible. Now, let's get that out.
Okay, so anything that's harmful is impermissible. Is it harmful to marry a chronological child? Now, obviously, he's going to personally say yes. So where does Islam specifically make the inference that in all cases where you marry a chronological child, harm is induced or harm occurs? Because all I need to do is show you a time where there is no physical harm to someone. I don't even know what harm means in that sense. What physical harm happens to a particular person that's like 16 or 15 or 14, and that should be okay.
Hey, quick break from the show. I want to.
Sorry, Brian. Nice beach shirt, though. Shout out to Logo Spurble Software. Pretty okay.
But
Did Muhammad consummate the marriage at 9?
That's not.
Did he consummate the marriage at 9?
Does 9 automatically necessitate a child?
Yes.
Whoa! Everyone, spam Wesh in the chat. Spam Wesh in the chat. Replay what she said.
With the prepubescent.
You have not.
We have.
No,
we
you-
have. But
Did Muhammad consummate the marriage at 9?
That's not.
Did he consummate the marriage at 9?
Does 9 automatically necessitate a child?
Yes.
Hey man, if you follow a religion that force you to say that, I don't know, bro. You you gotta rethink, man. Does 9 automatically mean you're a child, bro? That's where we at, bro. In Islam, bro. Does 9 automatically mean you're a child? And what else would you be then if you're not a child? What else would you be?
An adult, bro. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, they got it, bro.
Because now we
This is what they gotta do.
bro. Because now we know your character.
They know if they admit that she was a child in any way, shape, or form, Islam is cooked. They know it's wrong. So what they've done, just like what they do with everything in their religion, pure patchwork, now they've done the unthinkable and has turned a 9-year-old into a non-child, which would mean either you're an adolescent, which would still be wrong, so they don't want to do that, which means that they have now jumped from her just within 12 months being a child to an adult within 12 months, which would be sick because that would mean that Muhammad waited 3 years, quote unquote, while she was a child, meaning that his God sent him a child in his dream 2 times. He woke up and said, yeah, this is my wife, because in the dream it said it was his wife. So a child was offered to him to be his wife. He woke up, and immediately when she turned into a adult, quote unquote, meaning she started her puberty or started to menstruate, he jumped inside of her. That's very weird. It makes it worse because we know no one just goes from a child to an adult in 12 months. It's impossible. Doesn't happen. So I don't know what they're doing, but all this patchwork is insane. Now in Islam, a 9-year-old is not a child, and you have to prove that to them. How weird is that, bro? What 9-year-old do you know went from 8 to 9 and became child to an adult?
Why would you even respond to that? Why was that even the question?
Exactly.
Why was she even like? Mind you, there was no pressure to answer this. By the way, she said this under zero pressure. She sat there, thought about it, processed it in her mind, decided that these were the words that are going to leave my lips, and said it on the internet for everyone to see. And she said, yes, this is me. This is my character. Someone said, Jerome, you're so shocked to take this. Thank you. Thank you. I have genuinely no words. Like, usually I'm funny, trolling, and I have no words. Does 9 automatically necessitate being a child?
The fact too, she sat there, bro. She sat there, like you said, no pressure.
No
She didn't
pressure,
have to.
right?
She didn't
She
have to say
anything.
that.
You didn't
Yeah,
have to
she
say
didn't have to
anything.
say that. She could have just let the dude
Just leave it,
keep
leave it. Let it
make his
die.
foolish point. And she said you haven't. She doubled down on it too and said you haven't proven that yet, and started laughing.
Crossed your whole leg. You sat in a kimono just to tell Brez that 9-year-olds could possibly be adults. We're finished, man. As a society, we're finished. Genuinely.
Did he consummate the marriage at 9?
You still haven't proven that.
You still haven't proven that he consummated at 9. What are we talking about?
You
There
haven't
is
proven
no
that. You
possi-
literally just said 15 to 17. Okay, fine. Is that the case globally? Is that
Yes.
no, it's not.
Yes,
I can literally
and I
bring
can
you
explain to
PubMed.
you
You can bring me a 9-year-old adult. Cold. You know why I like IP, yeah? That was his gut reaction answer to that, by the way. He didn't even have to think about it. Is 9-year-old automatically a child? Yes. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. Like, we should never allow there to be speculation. We should never allow there to be any sort of doubt in your mind. No, yes. That's exactly how, yes. The answer is yes.
I can
Papers
explain
right
to
now.
you why.
Hold on,
I can
hold on,
explain
hold on.
why. Very simple.
I wasn't done. I'm
I
not
can
done.
explain to you
I'm not
really why.
done. I'm
It's
not done.
quite simple. Hip development. Hip development.
Oh my God. Yeah, PubMed says that when it comes to puberty and when it comes to monarch, there's a paper. I could cite it for you if you want. I
Talk
could
about
bring it for you
monarchy
right
at
now.
this point.
We're not talking about monarchy. We're talking about people that are way beyond monarchy.
It literally says that pubescence can be achieved at different points, and it's achieved via different social standards.
Pubescence just means when you reach the age to begin puberty and when you start having your periods and when you start having sexual organs develop. That doesn't mean that all of puberty has been completed. Stop this narrative. We're going to start a dialogue, okay? We're going to start a dialogue where we actually fix these errors.
When it comes to geographic, when it comes to economic, these are all different
Does it say
factors
it's
that come into
completed?
place.
Yes, is it completed?
It literally talks about
Being
the
completed.
individuals going through puberty.
Being complete.
No, not going through the process. Completed. Are there 9-year-olds that completed the entire process of puberty? Even those that have true precocious puberty, which again only affects 0.02% of girls.
Yeah, so it goes from the
And that's on the planet.
age of 11 all the way up until
Being
the age of
completed.
17 to 18. It's
Okay, so is it completed at 11?
completely different.
Anything
what
show
you're
hip
saying.
development is complete at age 11.
Yeah, so it's talking
No,
about puberty.
there are none. It is
I hate
biological.
this because she's not listening. She's not actually listening. Like, she's not listening to what he's saying. How many times do I have to repeat the word completed until it sticks in your head, until it gets through your belly, that what he's asking you is to show the age of completion? How long?
Impossible for the hip.
And this is the problem with these new Darabro guys, bro. They all think that they're Superman. They all think that they're Kinping. They all think that they can just bust chops with the best of us, or bust chops with the most popular, or bust chops with the most famous, because it's going to get them the most clicks in the shortest amount of time. None of these people have any organic growth whatsoever. Their language, not even their language, when I say their language, I specifically mean their register. Their way of producing content will die faster than Dean Responds did, okay? Where has he gone? He's disappeared off the face of the earth.
Of a girl to not be complete
Yeah, we
until the
can
ages of
allow,
15 to 17.
you can make that up, and then we want to move on to the other facts as well, because if you just hone on one thing, then we're not going to be
But
able
I just want to know, did Muhammad consummate the marriage with a 9-year-old?
No.
He did not.
No, okay. They think yes. I don't know about this guy. I think this guy's probably he's just freeloader. But these guys think yes. That's why his eyes are down. He's usually active. He's now down. Because now we know he doesn't agree. Because he knows it's wrong. He knows in his heart of hearts this is dark.
What I'm saying,
She
what I'm
wasn't
saying here,
nine,
what
yes or no?
I'm-
You're not saying no to that.
Just
you're
say
saying-
yes or no and expound.
what I'm saying here is that
Notice he can't say yes. Because if he says yes, disagreement, right? So you're just going to allow him to flounder whilst you take credit. Wickedness, bro.
she
Wickedness in argument, not wickedness in person. I'm not going to make any personal claims.
was not a child at the time of marriage. She's not a child at the time of consummation.
Okay, so 9 wasn't a child for her. Great. God damn it, man.
In fact, even in the traditional account, there's a waiting period. Now, this comes to the other angle that I was
He's thinking about the argument. He's thinking about whether or not he can nod his head to this.
trying to get to, is why the marriage
He's just saying, he hasn't said anything. I think he's pulling up a study on his phone. I think that's what he's doing.
take place in the first place. Marriages take place not just for intimacy.
No, I beg. If he says, yeah, we needed to politically douche a child, I'm going to lose my mind. If he says we needed to do this because politics, yeah, genuinely, my mind, bro. He's telling us the justification for douching a child is because we need political alliances. There is no reason as to why I would douche a child for politics. Ever. That's like me saying, hey, I need to go to one of them Diddy parties, son. You know what I'm saying? For them politics, son. Word is born. There was kids everywhere. Word is born. I went to Epstein. You know what I'm saying? I went to Epstein. Got all them political favors, man. Word is born. Word is born. What are we talking about?
They take place, especially for a leader, they take place to establish alliances. And this in a way goes back to the issue of polygamy.
Who was Aisha's father?
Abu Bakr.
Oh, he did establish an alliance with him?
Yeah, they were already boys. They were literally already boys. What was the establishment of relationship?
You don't understand how the Eastern culture is. Eastern culture is when
He's thinking about, because he knows it's a dead point. It's such a dead point. He knows it as well. Like, he knows, man, this point's actually whack.
when you want to bring people together for various political.
Why are you nodding? They were already together. They were already boys. You didn't need to bring them more together by marrying the youth. If so, why didn't Muhammad just say, hey, I'll make a blood alliance with you, or blood pact? Maybe they can't make blood clots because that's something bad for them. Or just put it in writing, be like, Abu Bakr is my heart or something, or like my chest.
Yeah, see, you know the hadith too. It says like when he told him for his daughter's hand in marriage, which was sick anyway. But the hadith says that he responded and said, "But we are brothers."
But we're brothers. Yeah, so we're already. How closer can you get than we're brothers?
Right, and then Muhammad doesn't try to do that to establish any alliance.
Any
He literally
alliance.
He says your daughter is his response is your daughter is halal to me, bro.
Your daughter's
it's
halal,
so
bro. Fuck,
weird, bro.
bro.
Just super weird, dude.
It's not weird. Like, I hate. Oh, by the way, I hate when people say this is weird. It's not weird. It's disgusting. Like, weird is like, oh, this is a bit unsettling. Ooh, it's kind of weird how like Jerome drinks Supermalt. You know? No. It's not weird. We know what it is. It's disgusting. It's nasty, bro. It's not weird. Like, this idea that is weird. It's just not true. It's not weird. Okay? No one's just slightly unsettled by this. Wesh. It's not weird, bro. It's just
What
wrong.
is it? What did you say? Wesh? What is that?
Wesh. Okay, so I explained this earlier in the stream, but wesh basically is a filler word for anything. Like, you could say yo, right? Wesh. So if say for example, okay, you know the word yo in English?
Yeah.
Okay, so you could say yo to mean what's up, yo, right? In French, wesh. You could say wesh. Okay. if I wanted to say, if something crazy happened, you could be like, yo, wesh. Okay? You're catching this, yeah? If someone says, yo, oh, that's disgusting. Yo, wesh.
Okay, I hear you.
If something surprising, yo, wesh. You know what I'm saying? Everything is wesh. If someone does something disgusting, like, yo, wesh. Okay? Everything is wesh. So every single time we've paused it in stream, the chat's just gone wesh. Guys, to show life how this works, spam wesh in the chat. Go on. Spam wesh in the chat. That's all I want to see. Spam wesh in the chat. I want to see the chat go crazy. I want to see how much control I have over my chat. Spam wesh.
What?
Spam wesh.
I want to see how much control I have over
We
my
need the chat faster. Come on. Andale. Wesh. W-E-S-H. Wesh.
Hey, no, Sig, when you was on Logic's live,
Yeah.
when you was doing your Nigerian accent, you said the Bible says this. Show me that one.
Show me that one day where they say this thing, yeah. Like that's
Show me that one. That was I'm
I'm
gonna take that. I'm gonna steal that. I like that.
Show me that one. Show me that one. Yeah. That where they said that the Bible says that Jesus is not God. Show me that one where they say this thing now. Yeah. But
You will answer today.
You will
Show
answer
me that
today.
one.
Quran will answer today by fire, by force, by hook or by crook. We shall eat today. Anyway, got a super chat here. Melix BL says, look up issue 2519 from Islamic Laws and ruling 2528, ruling 2533 as well. Cooks the Shias. Also, Ibn Kathir has crazy context in Surah 65 for Sunnis. Okay, guys, you can cease the wesh. I just wanted to know how much control I have over my chat because certain people can't control their chat. I just like to know that this is a dictatorship and a grift, okay? This is a dictatorship. The only time, I'm going to make this rule now, chat. The only time, and the mods are correct, the only time we spam wesh is if this sound plays. The only time we spam wesh is when this sound plays, because that means something was weshable. Yeah? Something truly happened where we had wesh. Okay? So the rule for the stream now, anytime this sound plays, wesh. Wesh. Okay, cool. I'm gonna stop the sound there. Continue. Thank you. But live, as you can see, I got to lock up my chat, man. I love these guys. This is a real community.
or social reasons, you do so through the vehicle of marriage.
That doesn't change anything I'm saying, though.
No,
a
well,
9-year-old is
no,
always
hold
a
on,
child.
Hold on.
Always a child. What Muhammad did was evil. He's not a good moral example. He should be thrown out because he's actually causing all sorts of harm.
What about Yahweh?
We see this happening in Iraq. We see
Wow, that's a crazy whataboutism. Whoa, what about Yahweh?
this happening in Sudan, in Yemen, where they think it's okay to start sleeping with children.
I guess
Unfortunately,
Moses
you're
says
just
the same
appealing
thing,
to the
though.
emotions. That's it. That's all you're doing. You're appealing.
I can cite studies. You want some studies?
You're appealing
It's
to
not an
emotions.
appeal to emotion if we all think it's wrong. If we all think that chronologically dushing a 9-year-old is wrong, then it's not an appeal to emotion. We all agree.
So you think it's okay to... I just want to be clear.
No, nobody said that on the panel.
No one said that.
I don't know. Wait, one second, real quick. I don't know why you keep going back to that same question we already answered.
Because we need to know that you're not changing. That's why. Like, chronologically, dushing a 9-year-old is wrong. If you think it's wrong, you think Muhammad was wrong for chronologically dushing a 9-year-old. Thank you. That's it.
a few times.
You didn't answer.
No, we already said
quite
no.
literally said
Nobody today should be married.
I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about Muhammad.
Let me finish.
I'm talking about Muhammad.
In the 1400 years ago, yeah, in the 600s.
Did Muhammad do something immoral?
No, we don't believe that.
Okay, so sleeping, having is not immoral.
Hey, brother.
presence is a fallacy.
What I'll do, yeah, is one of these days when it's the World Cup final, depending on the day of the World Cup final, I'll do a watch along, like live stream. Sistani's website is where you can look up the rulings. He's the lead Shia Lord Maker. Thank you very much, Melix, for the $4. Thank you.
That's exactly what you're doing. You're saying that, hey, it was, it's immoral today, therefore it must have been immoral back then. But you would even agree, Mr. IP, that there's things that we can derive through reason, and over time we can trial and test. For example, according to you in the Torah.
But if you can trial and test, that means that you were in error, right? Trial and testing assumes that you were wrong. right? It assumes wrongness if the conclusion we came to was right now, and the conclusion we came to before was different from the conclusion that was right now. Okay.
28 to 29, Yahweh, it says that if somebody rapes a child, they can marry that child, right?
No, it doesn't. No, it does not. That is a lie.
Let me land.
That is a lie. That is not what the word, not what tapas means.
Now,
But it is what Paidan means.
Now,
That's what Paidan means.
you would say that, hey, that at that specific time point would be moral. But because, let me land.
No.
But because of how society operates today, because of what we know as Islam as urf, or aka accustoming to the natural custom of society, therefore will be deemed impermissible through reason, not through theology.
So, okay,
Right?
good. So we use our reason.
Beautiful.
So we need to develop on what is the law
Thank you.
taught. No,
So, wait, do you think that's not Islam?
He just kept talking. Now he wants to keep going. He
Go
won't
ahead.
let me respond. You see how that works? Kind of weird, isn't it? So anyway, let's go back to this. So here's the problem. You can't do that. Muhammad is getting revelations from supposedly an omniscient God. And
Was
he's
Yahweh
saying,
giving revelation?
hold up. And he's saying, you're the pattern of
See
conduct
how they're
for
trying to move to the counter argument because they know that they've stayed on this for way too long. They stayed on this for 26 minutes now.
humanity. Oh, and by the way, you can have there, according to him, because he got some dream from Allah.
Same
that
as
actually was
Yahweh
his.
Deuteronomy.
So
Right.
at that point, now you can't say that. Now Allah is wrong. You need to use reason and science
Yahweh's
to show
wrong
that he
too,
is
guys.
wrong. This is a problem for you.
Beautiful. So again, IP for some
What
odd
the
reason
hell are
believes
we
that
talking about?
reason and the revelation given in the Quran are going to be incompatible. No, that's not true.
It
Because,
is?
So one second, as Sunni Muslims, we believe that there's going to be things that are inherently immoral, such as injustice, for example, prior to revelation. For example, in Islam, just give me a second. In Islam, we believe that drinking alcohol is going to be impermissible. That is going to lead to a greater harm, which Christian societies allow, right? However, there is going to be circumstances, for example, where you need to survive, where there's nothing accessible to you, where you do need to drink alcohol. So guess what? Islam, in that specific condition, allows reason.
Wait, what? How have we gotten to? Whoa, what?
And the revelation given in the Quran are going to be incompatible. No, that's not. Believes that reason and the revelation given in the Quran are going to be incompatible.
No. He's saying that it's you don't believe they're incompatible, but he's trying to show a case where reason is incompatible with the revelation given to Muhammad because Muhammad did this because of wahi. Okay, that's the reason why he did it. All right, let's listen.
No, that's not true.
It
Because-
is?
So one second, as Sunni.
He's not saying it's true in the way that you're making the proposition or positing. IP is saying, I've given you guys an example where the revelation that was given to Muhammad did contradict this thing that we have all asserted from natural reason. He's saying, oh no, you think generally speaking Muslims believe that there's a contradiction. No, those are two completely different claims.
Muslims, we believe that there's going to be things that are inherently immoral, such as injustice, for example, prior to revelation. For example, in Islam, just give me a second. In Islam, we believe that drinking alcohol is going to be impermissible. That is going to lead to a greater harm, which Christian societies allow, right?
Okay, so Christian societies allow drinking alcohol, but drinking alcohol simpliciter doesn't lead to harm, the same way that eating food doesn't lead to harm. Gluttony leads to harm, but we don't ban eating food, do we? Right? We would ban the actual thing that causes harm. In this case, and I don't understand why we didn't harm principle. In this case, and this is the reason why people say maham, by the way, it's so silly. In this case, you would actually be able to establish that drinking alcohol is fine. Drinking alcohol, generally speaking, isn't an issue. Alcoholism is, okay, specifically drunkenness. Drunkenness is an issue. But this is a crazy burden shift. We're talking about what is better for society, and specifically with the notion of child marriage and building family units. Now you're moving to drinking wine.
However, there is going to be circumstances, for example, where you need to survive, where there's nothing accessible to you, where you do need to drink alcohol. So guess what? Islam, in that specific condition, allows reason to say that, hey, this thing is going to be the only viable way to live, therefore it's going to be permissible. So yes, Islam is compatible with natural law. It is compatible with reconciling.
No, it's compatible with that particular engagement of reason. It's not compatible with every single engagement of reason. Because let's say something like absolute divine simplicity seems to be something that many, many philosophers can just gauge from natural reason. You reject it. You reject it.
Specific commands over time.
Great.
Because you take the knuckle over the akal.
So reason, let's go on that.
Now, you said the thing, Muhammad is said to receive revelation. Well, according to Yahweh, when it's spoken in Quran, he's also given.
Whoa! Crazy burden shift. As soon as they can't defend, they have to switch. They have to switch.
Revelation. That's not a defeat to the argument. You have to show.
The defeat to the argument is the fact that he is actually legislating something that can't be legislated, like marrying a chronological child.
Why is it the case that Deuteronomy gave the law to marry children, yet we don't do it today?
What? Chat, you know what to do. You know what to do. You know what to do. Deuteronomy says that you can marry children. What, infants? I swear to God, if he used the term pedia, yeah, or pedo, and he tries to use this specifically to mean like child, like the way that we do an infant, and he's not aware of nistion, I'm going to flip a switch. Because there's a completely different Greek word that specifically means an infant or someone that's young, okay? And the word, sorry, not nistion, is a nipios, right? So nipios means an infant, a baby, a child, children, people that are infantile in this way, right? But when we try to refer to someone that is a young man or someone that's a bit like a youth, like someone's young, right? We would use the word pedos, right? Like pedo, peda, like all these kinds of words, because we know that, like that kind of stuff is okay.
Right.
So let me get back to this. My main point, can you marry a 9-year-old? Is that allowed in Islam?
No, today no.
Today, no. So it was. It
According
was.
to Deuteronomy.
Right.
So what? So in that
And in
time,
Deuteronomy, you could have married children, and now you can't.
See, you won't let me talk.
But you don't
This
want to
is
address
what
the
we're-
Deuteronomy.
I'm showing you the double standard.
I'm going to get to
Get to the
Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy
I'm
one,
going to
right?
get to Deuteronomy.
he's gonna get to Deuteronomy.
So
He's gonna get to
you're talking about
Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy 28, right?
22,
22, 28.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh
20.
my
So
God.
going back to my point about child
How
marriage.
have they allowed this reversal to actually happen in reality?
Though, okay, you just basically became a moral relativist. Okay, because now the point. Now, let me finish.
IP, you think that's
Calm
moral
down.
relativism?
Habibi,
Go ahead.
Oh my
Habibi, calm
gosh.
down, lady. It's gonna be okay. So, because now it's okay to have a girl in the time of Muhammad, and it caused all the harm then. But now, because we've used reason and science, we can now know that the guidance that Allah was giving
That's not
Muhammad.
moral relativism.
Man, there it
Wait,
goes
hold on.
again.
What
There it goes
happened to
again. There it goes
Deuteronomy,
again. There it goes
Go
again.
ahead.
Did
Sorry.
he just say he was going to get to
So
Deuteronomy?
now we can use we can now use reason and guidance to know that Allah was wrong. Thank you. Islam, the guidance it gave that through Muhammad was wrong. Let's get to Deuteronomy 22
Yes,
now.
yes.
The word is tafas.
Oh,
That is
what about in the Greek?
Hold up.
What's in the
Now,
Greek?
hold up.
What's in the Greek? Yeah, great, man. Great shoot, man. Great shoot. So, what about in the Greek? No. Nobody ever wants to use the Greek, man. Nobody ever wants to actually go to the Septuagint in Greek. Now, I'm going to tell you why people want to use the term in the Septuagint in Greek. The reason why is because I believe, if I'm actually correct, the word is peda, right? And it's actually where we get pedophilia from, right? What? Yes, that's actually where we get pedophilia from. But if you go to chapter 22, where is the text that we can set ourselves in? Peda vivisio. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Of fish. Hold on. I need to get the TLG. It's not allowing me to sign in. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get the TLG up. My apologies. I might need to use the bathroom quickly as well, because I've been holding this in like crazy. My apologies. Lexica. No. Yes. 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 Oh, no. Oh, I've messed up. I've messed up. Let me see. Pedia. Oh, pedia is childhood, I want to say. Oh, it's just training. Oh, teaching, education, discipline, improvement. Oh, no. Pedia has something different. Hold on. I'm trying to find the... Just not going to find it here. It's a base. Just doing a bunch of like word stuff. Oh, that's disgusting. What the hell? Pedos. Ah, here it is. Yes. Yes. Yeah, nice. Okay. Boom. All right. So I've now been able. You already know the sound, guys. So this is the Greek patristic lexicon by Lampy. Lampy's patristic lexicon basically defines it as a child or son, serpent, disciple, follower. Now, the reason why it's supposed to emphasize some sort of youth or youthful aspect. The problem is we actually have terms that specifically mean like children, and the word is nipios. Nipios is a completely different Greek word that essentially just means a kid, like an actual kid. I would be a beda, for example, or pedos or pesh, in relation to my mother. So it's age independent, but the idea is usually contextually around whether you are societally considered an adult. So, for example, in the context of Greek life or in the context of Israeli life, someone would be a pesh if they're just under fighting age. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not biologically developed. For example, at the age of 18, they could be biologically developed at 19 or 20, but they'd still be considered a pesh in as much, or pedos, in as much as they aren't legal fighting age. So one thing we do need to remember with this specific word is that there's also a legal category that's also going to be put on as well. If we have, for example, the term in Homeric Greek or Attic Greek, as people like to say, in Attic Greek, it specifically refers to this particular style of being some sort of servant or some sort of slave. And usually the way that the term besh is actually used in the literature seems to be this particular restrictive sense. And I can actually show you that in Bible Hub here. The context always seems to be specifically by analogy a boy or someone that's just spanked with impunity. The term besh specifically in the texts that we basically look at usually refers to a person that is a servant or a slave. Most of the texts that we have, and there are hundreds of these texts, sorry, not hundreds, there are around dozens of these texts. There are 24 texts where this particular text is used, 24 times that it's used in the New Testament. And I want to say, according to Thayer's lexicon, I want to say around, if I really want to be very, very charitable here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So actually a quarter of the time, besh is specifically used to refer to someone that's a youth of some kind. Now, when it comes to other times, it specifically means a servant. For example, in Luke 1:69, if you go to Bible Gateway, and I go to Luke 1:69, boom, 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 okay, Luke 1:69, it specifically says, he has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. But the word besh is the actual term that's used, pedos. And pedos is actually the specific word for a kid. Now, is it saying that David is biologically a child, or is he saying that David is a child in relationship to God as his father? Right? So that particular idea and context is important. So besh usually doesn't refer to whether someone is biologically considered that case, because, for example, you could have, I want to say, Genesis and other passages where the term is used as well, right? The young woman went to this house, but the actual Hebrew word is nara. And nara just means a young woman or a damsel, right? But the actual word used in Greek is besh or peda. So there are times where besh and peda actually refers to someone that's a youth, like a lad, okay? So it's not all the time that it specifically refers to a biological child. The actual Greek word for a biological child is nistios. You guys can clip that, send it around. So the actual term is nistios, that's used in Greek. And then you have besh, that's also used in other texts as well. So besh usually refers to a person that's just young. It doesn't refer to someone that's specifically a child in this explicit way, because when we look at the Hebrew equivalent doesn't say that. bes is just a more broad category, but we also have specific Greek words that do refer to infantile or pedo stages that we have now. And those pedo stages would be nistios. So hopefully that helps. Does that make sense, Life? I said that there's two different words. Neoterikos as well, for example. Neoterikos is another one that people like to use as well. But here it is, right? So if you look at what Paul says here, Paul says, I was a child, not nistios, nipios. Nipios is the word that's used here, right? Nibios is the word that is used specifically for a child. So in this particular aspect, remember, they're talking about a child, and we understand what a child is here in their particular context as well. The text in, I want to say the text in Deuteronomy, they say the same thing. So as you can see here in Genesis 24, the word is besh, but actually the translation in the Hebrew equivalent is a young woman. So we know that the actual Septuagint author seem to be a bit more expansive with their usage.
It's a Hebrew, man. So the word is
what about
so we don't want to go on the original language. So look at
wait.
We can't use the original. They said they want me to get to Deuteronomy 22. Now they don't want to.
Let him finish his Deuteronomy point, and then we'll let you respond.
So the word is tafas. That is the same word used in Genesis when the wife of Potiphar grabs Joseph's cloak and says, come to bed with me.
Yes, that is true.
That does not mean rape. When you said it meant rape, it lied. You're going off the NIV translation. That is wrong. It just means to sort of flirtatiously seize. And we see that in the parallel passage in Exodus when it talks about when a man
Why are they laughing? That's true.
seduces a girl and they're found, and you'll pay those shekels to the father.
There's a big problem with that, though, is that the Latin Vulgate translates Deuteronomy 22, 28 to 29 the same way as it translates 25 to 27, which you already agree is about
It's
rape.
Latin.
So there's no point of taking 28 to 29 to not be about rape when your earliest Christians translate and understand it to be about rape.
They were wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See that?
Jerome, where does Jerome say this, bro? Show me Jerome, bro.
That's the difference. That's the difference. See, I can use reason.
How
I can,
convenient.
notice the difference.
The early ones are all
Notice
wrong.
the difference.
They're all
Notice the difference. I use actually the Bible to show you what the word means. They go, but these later Latin translators didn't agree with you. I don't care.
Also, Jerome also said that, if I got this wrong, then I can get flamed. You know why? Because Jerome specifically says, hey, Pope Damasus, I want to change this, and Pat Damasus said no. So Jerome even was also held under scrutiny. So you're allowed to hold Jerome under scrutiny. He's my patron, for example. He's literally my patron, saying I love the guy. But yes, he also was not above criticism and scrutiny. He was okay to be scrutinized if he was wrong.
I'm using the
So
Hebrew.
everybody was right, and you're the only one that's
No,
you're the only one that's right.
Hey, if the shoe fits, my brother, the shoe fits. I'll take it.
I guess he didn't have the Holy Spirit.
You hinged on one of the wrong issue. Okay, the issue isn't regarding tefas and whether they were raped or not raped. The issue is the word paida in the LXX. You agree the LXX is used by the disciples, correct? It's a valid.
Yeah, but that is a word that just means someone's young. It doesn't necessarily comment on their biological state. Because if you look at the 24 times it's used in the New Testament, specifically the times where even Thayer tries to identify that as being a kid, you can also look at all of the multiple times where it's used. So if I look at, for example, I'm going to copy and paste this. You could just look at the lexicon, right? So let's do a quick tertiary glance at this. If we look at the word bes, right, the first definition that's used from Homer, and it's in the New Testament in the Gospels and Acts, you look at this text and it simply means a child, boy, or a girl, okay? Now, boy or girl is a bit vague because you could have someone that's like a 19-year-old boy in this particular context. Because if you go to Genesis 24:28, it just means a young woman, right? So Thayer identifies that actually there are times where it can mean a young woman. If you go to all of these particular texts, we can just look at them as well. And we will. We have Matthew 17, Luke 2:43, Luke 9:42, Acts 20 verse 12, Luke 8:51 and 54, which usually means plural for infants and children, Matthew 2:16, Matthew 21:15, and then the son of one or the child of one, for example, a certain child in John 4:51. And let's look at John, for example, just as a quick example, just to show what I mean. It's not ubiquitous that the term bes only means a specific person that's under their particular age or someone that's a child, biologically speaking. If you look at 4:51, let me just go to it. This is going to cook me right now. What's going to cook me? It's going to cook me. Look, see? If we look at this, right? Jesus came to Galilee. There was a certain nobleman whose son was sick at Capernaum. When he heard that Jesus had come to Galilee, he went down, implored him to come down and heal his son, for he was at the point of death. Jesus said to him, unless you people see signs and wonders, you by no means believe. Nobleman says, sir, come down before my child dies. Jesus said to him, "Go your way, your son lives." So the man believed the word that Jesus Christ said to him, and as he was now going down, his servants met him and said, "Your son lives." And also, this is just pejorative language. It means the boy lives. Now, this doesn't mean that there's any like mention of him being a biological kid here, does it? So even just by reading these particular passages, you can see like these people just mean like young person, like someone's like 16 probably, 15 probably, 17. So there's no issue at all ever.
Source that the
They
Bible
don't use that
uses.
one. They don't say that. No.
Oh, they don't. Just conveniently, they don't use that
No.
one. But
Special
is it a source that they use?
They use the Septuagint as a source for like prophecy, typology, that kind of stuff.
Right, and they get them wrong there.
But
too.
Matthew
No
also uses the
problem. They
Hebrew.
get
It
it
doesn't
wrong
change
there too.
anything.
They
This
get
is
it wrong
Matthew
so
did, yeah.
irrelevant to the overall
in
point.
the LXX, does it use the word paida?
Yes.
I don't have to look it up. That's irrelevant to the point.
Look it up.
He uses better. Yes, it does use better. You are correct. But I'm trying to find something in the thingy.
No. I want to get back to the point. This is so irrelevant. I already addressed it.
How is it irrelevant?
Do you
How is that
agree?
irrelevant?
Do you agree that it is wrong to have in Christian
perfect.
society?
We've gone to
Keep
this.
right. Keep right from the
Hold on,
top.
hold on.
You have
They
said
keep-
that question a bunch of
Okay,
times.
Exactly.
So
And he
now here's
answered
what-
it like 50
let me
times.
land my main point then. I will land my main point here.
Oh, back to square one.
So now, like, actually progress this.
Problem is that we're talking about which society is going to produce better. Sorry, which religion is going
Okay,
to
but
produce.
we want to get across multiple points.
There we go.
Right, sorry,
Yeah.
no, just quick
I'm
one.
trying to
Alright,
wrap
go
up
ahead.
so we can. Don't
Go ahead,
worry,
bro.
okay? The point we're trying to get is which is actually producing. I'm over here saying that Christian societies has outlawed this stuff. It's wrong. It's evil. You guys are saying, no, it can happen in some circumstances, and therefore it's okay. That's the point I'm trying to drive home here. You guys keep saying it's okay to have if the circumstances allow, but that's what Islam teaches. And then you're just saying, well, reason and science says that we can't. Great, reason and science contradict Islam, and we use that instead of Islam. That's my point. So we get back to the main point.
All right, we'll let you guys close out on this topic.
All right, beautiful. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of problems.
another
You said that it's been
beautiful-
totally banned, but we see historically speaking, like it's found in Lily Among the Thorns, that historically speaking, Christians would use verses like Numbers 31 and Deuteronomy 22 to justify raping young girls.
Which verses, which persons, please, which saints ever did that in the patristic era? When? Who? Who?
And finding that to be holy. Also, you're trying to like completely just ignore the Septuagint, but your Christian saints like Augustine and stuff make arguments that if the Torah is preserved, then it's preserved in all recessions.
Yeah, but where does Augustine say that it's okay to douche a kid though? Augustine himself was about to, and he was in sin, and he's like, nah, bro.
Include
They lied about Jerome. Let's put the line on the screen, man. You guys already know what to do. Puellam virginum. That's not what I'm looking for. I need to go to the specific way of it. Yeah, it just means a maiden. Oh my goodness. They lied. Holy crap. Wait, hold on. Oh my gosh, wait, hold on. I know this one. Hold on. It just means a maiden. It just means a young woman. Yeah, puellam. What's the Latin word for child? A woman child. What's the word for woman for a child? Isn't the word infans or something like this? Infans, right? Is my Latin bad? I just want to read this again. I want to make sure. Și invenit vir poelem virginum. No, poelem just means a servant girl. It just means a servant girl. It doesn't mean a kid. The word infans means kid. Oh my god, they lied. Apprehendens. Apprehendens. Surely just means like you accost someone, right? It doesn't mean that you rape them, no? It just means that you seize, you catch, or to understand mentally. Huh. If you wanted to use rape, you would have used, for example, violare, to violate, right? Or literally, rapere. Or rapere. There's actually a word for this. Oh my god, they lied.
Including the Septuagint. So we have to look at the texts and compare the Hebrew and the Septuagint and understand the meanings from both of them. You can't just only look at the Hebrew, you have to look at the Hebrew and the Septuagint. And in the Septuagint, it uses the word force and child. So the child is being forced to be married.
No. But the problem is, Jerome doesn't say that. Jerome actually translates it the same way that's even from the Septuagint. For example, viasmenos doesn't even necessarily mean that there's like violence, okay? Like viasamenos doesn't always mean that because of the surrounding context. Because viasamenos can mean, like, for example, we use the word viasamenos in where Christ says the kingdom of heaven suffers violence. Obviously, the kingdom of heaven doesn't suffer literal violence. It just means that there's enthusiasm, and the enthusiastic take it by force. Puella is not just a little girl. No, Puella is a servant girl, but we have a word for that, infans.
No, it's not true.
Yeah, so just one more thing to add to what you were saying specifically. So when we're looking at modern day societies as well, you're saying that because these things don't occur in Christian societies, that therefore means, and that they do.
I'm going to use the bathroom, guys. I'm going to use the bathroom because I need to use the bathroom, guys. I'll be back.
Ευσχήμων Ιωσήφ από του ξύλου καθελών, το άχραντον σου σώμα, συντώνει καθαρά ηλίστας και αρώμασιν, εν μνήματι κενό, κηδεύσας απέθετο, αλλά τριήμερος ανέστης Κύριε, παρέχον το κόσμο το μέγα Τες μυροφόρης γυναίξη παρά το μνήμα επιστάς, ο άγγελος εγώ, τα μοίρα της θνήτης υπάρχει αρμόδια, Χριστός δε διαφθοράς εδείχθη αλότριος, αλλά κραυγάσατε ανέστη ο Κύριος, παρέχον το κόσμο το μέγα
Okay, we are back. Alright, we are back. Someone said Logic's live. That's not my fault. Okay, perfect. Infantula, Latin for infant girl. Yes, Cora agrees. Beautiful, excellent, great. Okay, so I don't know. I'm kind of sick of watching this video, but I was trying to find the particular term that was used for accosting. Blessing the Lord was in your possessions, handsome in form. No one's in the house within. Is it Genesis 40? Where he gets, yeah. Trying to find something in what's this word?
Do occur in Islamic societies. That therefore means that Islam is worse for for society in general than Christianity. Is that basically
I'm saying yes
summarized?
because
that's what you're saying, right?
Well,
I'm not done. I just want to make sure that's what you
one
said.
sentence. One sentence.
go ahead.
Because you guys even acknowledge Islam is allowing with girls under 18,
We said
that is going to produce
like
worse
10
results.
times,
Don't
but
say it, don't
anyway,
say it.
yeah, anyway.
They won't even let me make the sentence.
Well, yeah,
He said
Let me
my
make the
conclusion.
sentence.
Yeah, yeah,
Calm
It's been like
down.
10
Okay.
sentences, but
That is
yeah.
going to produce worse societies by your own admission. Yes, it will, because the studies show it does.
Cool. So the problem is, do you know what Mill's method of difference is?
I don't
guys
remember off
stop
the top of my head.
asking
Okay. I'm sorry.
What happens is you guys ask him a
okay.
question. and then
It's kind of rhetorical.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
I can explain it, no problem. Mill's method of difference just simply tells us that if it's the case that we're proposing that some sort of thing has a commonality between two particular events. So in this case, let's talk, for example, a Christian society that has many gangs and a Christian society that doesn't have many gangs. Okay. The individual who's coming to a conclusion saying that, oh, because this society is Christian, it therefore has many gangs, is going to be wrong because there is not only it does not occur only in one society. There is there has to be some other sufficient cause such that it would say that this is the reason why it's occurring in this society
Right.
and in that one. Okay, good. So is it the case that it's occurring in every single Muslim society that there is child marriage?
I don't remember the statistics off the top of my head. But that doesn't change that.
Is that funny? Also, how do you define an Islamic society outside of the fact that Islam is proliferated there, or Islam is the major religion? Also, we can actually have a state where it's supposed to be a secular state, but then you have certain places where there's a Muslim majority, places where there's a Christian majority, and see whether or not they allow child marriage. For example, Nigeria. Good example.
Wait, does it
let me
occur
finish
in
now.
every
Hold up,
single
hold up.
Muslim society?
Just
Hold up, let
finish
me
your
finish.
point, and then
Let
we're
me
going to
finish.
move
I
into.
finished.
You
My
guys
question is-
acknowledged already that Islam is allowing and teaching this.
That's
So
my
didn't.
question.
didn't.
That's my question.
We already.
Did he have sex?
We already.
Ten times.
What
What
kind of dichotomy is this?
Didn't Yahweh commend the child marriage in Deuteronomy 22? Like, what is this?
No, I didn't. No.
We've already.
That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Actually, let me share something. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
perfect.
Let me interrupt.
the boss.
Okay. So there is a gentleman by the name of Hans Kuhn, Catholic theologian, not necessarily a friend of Islam. Okay, not necessarily a friend of Islam. He has some criticism of Islam, but the issue is about about society, about what religion is good for society. So this is what he has to say. Again,
He's a state theologian, right?
he's a Catholic theologian.
Theologian. Okay, just want to make sure we know his credentials.
Yes. You want to go Google his name?
No, I'm going to talk to some sociologists later. But go ahead.
All right, go ahead. So is Islam a religion of the law? Originally, it was not a religion of the law, but the religion of an ethic. The Quran is concerned with ethical imperatives for human society, not all of which were new. However, on the new basis of faith, these norms work in favor of more justice, fairness, restraint, moderation, mediation, compassion, and forgiveness.
Oh, name a random Catholic theologian that does ecumenism. It's like great work, guys.
What's his evidence?
And here's a lot of evidence here. I just gave you one
What's his
quote.
evidence?
I mean,
Beautiful.
you,
We-
you,
we-
you,
we
No,
can
I
do-
want to ask him, what's your evidence? What's your evidence?
Oh, that's another beautiful. Give me 1 second.
Is it causes more
it's a very long quotation.
Because
here.
I can cite actual researchers, like sociologists. Hold on.
So you
Yeah,
we think this is a
goodness.
crackhead or something?
Yeah, he's not a sociologist.
My goodness. Now, he's a theologian according to your admission. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to cite an actual book. It's called The Price of Freedom Denied, written by actual researchers in the field. They say no. Islamic societies cause more persecution. No. They cause more discrimination.
Thank you for ignoring and egoing your subscribers, bro. Way to treat your fans. I don't know what that means, and I'm sorry if I've egoed. But yeah,
Then-
I have a massive ego, guys. I'm sorry. What can I say? Pray for me that my humility improves or something. I don't know.
Than Christian Western societies. Actually, I have actual, they put actual research, they run an actual sociological model behind it. So actually, no. I can just cite them and say, no, that your theologian is wrong, the sociologists are correct.
Look, Islam historically gave freedom of religion.
What? Wait a minute. Hold on.
Okay, that's interesting.
I'm going to skip down here for a minute. Hold
Why
up.
were the
Hold
Jews
up.
flourishing?
Hold up.
Why were the Jews flourishing in Spain
Right.
and persecuting the rest of?
Ah, conviventure. I love this topic. I hate when people bring it up, but I love the topic. I'm addicted to it. Conviventure.
Christian
I'm
Europe?
a Christian. I'm a
Why-
Christian.
no, okay,
if
you're
I
a
lived under
Christian.
Sharia law, could I proselytize?
Good question.
Muslims.
I mean,
debate.
you can try, but doesn't mean you're gonna go anywhere with
I
it.
can proselytize Muslims under Sharia law.
Yeah,
I
can
can
we-
go out and say, yes,
can we add to
please
this?
convert to Christianity.
Can't.
Right. So we can add to this real quick. So when it comes to rulings and how they apply throughout history, we'd obviously have to use like a bigger sample size in terms of.
Okay, are there Islamic communities, by and large, that allow proselytization of Christianity? Take all of them from the beginning of Islam till now. Are there Islamic societies, and you should really just use the Mohammedan society, did they allow the proselytism of religion? Or do we need to mention the Pact of Amr? Now, again, the historians are like, we don't know if it's historically credible. But it tells of the mindset of many of these peoples in these many communities.
When you look at, for example, how Amr
I DM'd you asking for help on something that was causing me doubts in the Bible. You left me on scene 3 different times. I much appreciate the help, bro. I'm sorry, I get so many messages.
Khattab to the Jews.
Just answer the question. Can I proselytize?
Real quick.
Biblically speaking, you can't.
Exactly. You cannot. So no, I do not have freedom of
Biblically
religion.
speaking.
You don't have freedom of
But if you join the server, you can.
religion under Islam.
Exactly.
According to Deuteronomy
I don't think you
13,
heard
you
what you
can't.
Yeah.
We're
You
talking
would
about
have your
Islam.
whole city
Talk about
committed
Deuteronomy.
genocide.
we're talking about Islam.
Answer the question. Under
Bye-bye to your
Sharia,
city.
under Sharia,
Under Sharia,
can
you
I
can't, and under
proselytize?
Christianity, you can't.
Okay,
under
so
both.
there we go. So
Under Christianity, you can, actually. So if you look at the... now, under Christianity, you can, under the context of debate. You can proselytize under the context of the debate, actually. If you look at Archbishop Rodrigo of Toledo, who was trying to make a specific archbishopric of Spain, he specifically says that you can make that argument. He wanted theological dialogue amongst Protestants, and not Protestants, amongst Muslims and Catholics in the West. Hell, even the Orthodox with the Ottoman Turks, we did that as well. So yeah, it's fine.
there we go.
Under both.
So under Sharia, no, we do
Notice
not have
he
freedom
doesn't
of
wanna address
religion,
the
as I
Christian
just said.
part.
I cannot proselytize. Do
So
you disagree with that?
why were the Jews?
Do you disagree with them?
Why were the Jews in Spain for 800 years during Muslim rule? And why, when the Muslims were kicked out, why did the Jews
Be polite. Pray for me that I become more polite. Seriously.
go to Muslim areas? Why did they go to Morocco? Why did they go to Iran and Turkey and the rest of North Africa? Why did they go?
Because they got kicked out. That doesn't change the
Why
point.
did they get kicked out? They got kicked out.
Yeah.
Why did they kicked out? They got kicked out. They were previously tolerated and flourished in Muslim Spain.
No,
Yes.
that's a miss. That's a
Jerome
miss.
manners Jerome manners maketh man. Eating while talking just gross, bro. Before the show, don't eat, talk. Everyone can hear your gustatory actions. It's just impolite. Have respect for your audience. You sent me £10 to tell me that I'm rude for eating. Okay, you know what I'll do? I'll starve. Okay? I'll starve. Yeah? I'll starve. And then when I collapse on screen, I'll die. Okay? I'll starve. Yeah? Guys, I can't even eat, bro. This annoyed me. You know what? I don't need your money, bro. I do need your money. Yes. Yes, I do. No, matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna order Mackey's right now. I'm gonna order a vegan burger and just eat it on stream. Someone has the someone has the okay, perfect. We have another $10 from Taran J. Jews flourish under Sharia. Meanwhile, Maimonides, God entangled us with the nation of Ishmael, who treat us so prejudicially, who legislate our harm and hatred. No nation has ever risen more harmful. Yeah, meaning Christians are actually better, you know. But yes, it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. Put a 1 in the chat if I'm allowed to eat. Put a 2 in the chat if I'm not allowed to eat. That actually really did annoy me. It didn't actually annoy me, but that was a whoa, I can't eat. But yes, Maimonides, if you just read his letters, literally read his letter to the Yemenite Jews. And he complains about how the Yemenite Jews are getting oppressed and how there's like no hope.
That's not
travel
a
with
That's
them
not
into
a
Muslim
You've been talking.
countries.
You've been
I haven't been
talking.
talking at all.
You've been talking.
By the way, don't miss
Maimonides
the
said no.
Christian
The
ones.
Ishmaelites have been the worst people to us, and they forced them to convert under the Almohad Empire. So no,
You're talking
there
about
was-
Ottoman
Hold
Empire.
on.
I'm not talking about Ottoman Empire. It was
You were just talking about
The same guy in the
Spain.
Muslim
Spain is not part of the Ottoman Empire.
Wow.
Spain was not part of the Ottoman Empire.
No, I said Almohad.
Are you saying it right?
I sit and eat a gross. I'm sorry. Lord, I can't eat. I can't eat food, guys. We've concluded. I actually cannot partake in the action of consumption.
Almohad. You don't know who the Almohads are?
Muwahhidun?
The Almohad.
The Almohad.
It's not.
Almohads, yes.
I thought you were
Do
saying
you know
words wrong.
who the Almoravids are?
Yeah, more of it's
So
okay.
in Spain, so let's do some history here because I don't think you know it. Okay,
ahead.
so the Almoravids come in after the collapse of the caliphate in there under the House of Cordoba. They take over.
You're talking about Wahadum.
In Spain, in Al-Andalus, okay? Then after that comes in the Almohads, and they rule in Spain. Maimonides is living under them. Maimonides said the Ishmaelites have been the worst to us of all people. They oppressed, they forced convert, they had all sorts of sex slavery going on. It was awful. So this idea that you have, you don't even know the history. You don't even know who the Almohads are. So how do you know this was such a good time?
I'll give you one even earlier. Okay, during the time period of Umar radiallahu anh. So the second caliph of Muhammad, peace be upon him. So it says here, this is Moshe Gil's book. Okay, so he's a Jew. He says similarly, his contemporary Salman bin
The Jew is the goat. Great.
Yerubim. In his Arabic commentary, he wrote, as we know, the temple remained in the hands of the Romans for more than 500 years, and they did not succeed in entering Jerusalem, speaking about the Jews. And anyone who did this was recognized as a Jew, was put to death. But when the Romans left it by the mercy of the God of Israel and the kingdom of Ishmael was victorious, Israel was permitted to come. And
So wait. So our conclusion is Islam is better for society because the Jews get to live. Yeah, that's great. The Jews get to live. The Copts don't get to live, by the way. No. The Palestinian bishops, they don't get to live. Constantinopolitan bishops don't get to live. Actual people of Constantinople don't get to live. All of the Greeks in Turkey don't have to get to live. They actually have to get displaced. The people in Cyprus don't get to live. They get displaced. No. But guys. The Jews are fine. Therefore, we're better. This is the reality, yeah? All right. I think I'm going to pull it there, guys. We've gotten to 39 minutes. I'm sorry. We're going to pull it there. I don't know if I'm going to go live tomorrow. I'll try and go live tomorrow to finish this off. But then on Wednesday, I'll hit you guys with the Jesus is God lives or whatever, or the, whatever kind of live streams that we usually do. So we'll hit you guys with that. All right. Thank you so much for everyone that was joining the stream. If you guys want to know why we're ending the stream earlier, yeah, pay no further attention than to this quote right here. Yeah, look no further than this guy right here. If you want to know why we're ending early, look no further than this schmuck right here, this brother right here. Specifically, this guy, him. Yeah, because of him sending £10 into the stream, we're ending early. Okay? Wesh. Yeah? This is your fault. Because now I'm hungry. And I'm gonna eat off camera. That's what I'm gonna do. I feel so self-conscious. I thought this was a safe space. I realize now it's not a safe space. I'm going to leave now. No, I'm kidding. Guys, it's basically just very, very late. And I want to go and get some sleep. So thank you very, very much, everybody that actually came and supported the stream. Thank you so much, guys. That is going to be it from all of us here over in the community as well. I don't know where you guys are going to go next. Go over to whatever stream you want to go off to. I know that a lot of people leave when God Logic's live because people just like seeing the entertainment. But guys, stay. Let's build a community, guys. Let's stay. Anyways, take care, guys, and God bless. Thank you so much on TikTok. As for YouTube, we're going to be signing out. We will be live again to... I don't want to really go over this again. To be honest, I think I addressed most of the things substantially that we really care about. So, yeah, I'm going to end it there. Take care, guys. God bless. Thank you. Pray for me.